Welcome to the NBTLT podcast with your guides to this magical journey, Lon and Zumi.
Welcome back to the NBTLT podcast, the only podcast that's endorsed by Helen Keller. I'm Lon, and I'm joined by Zumi once again. How you doing, Zoom?
Sick as a dog, but I'm here.
Yeah, it's a personal problem. So, what's been going on?
I'm sorry. You might hear me cough throughout.
Nobody wants to hear about your dick-sucking adventures.
And I apologize for that.
So, we were probably going to have Solomon on tonight as a special guest host. If he does get on, then he gets on. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, in his absence, we will begin with the most painful news, which is that Zumi's Vikings did not, in fact, go to the Super Bowl.
Hashtag. I believed.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, that was an ass whooping.
I mean, to follow up that touchdown catch at the end of the game against the Saints, you know, that's a hell of a way to finish the season.
I mean, I texted Shane, right, like afterward. I'm like, dude, and he's like, what a fucking game, and he's so excited. And then on this one, I'm like, dude, I don't think it's happening. And he's just like, he just sends me like a crying face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, they had a great season, but I'm like, I don't think there's any like coming back from this. And he's like, no.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, you know how you lie to yourself, like in the middle of a game where you're like, okay, it's just halftime. You know, it's not a big deal. They're gonna fix some things. Yeah. You know, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be fine, and it'll be a good comeback.
It's only 2 scores. Like it's okay. Then it's like, oh shit, it's 3. Now it's 4. Yeah, like it's, yeah.
I think we might be done. Yeah, it's and I feel ashamed of myself. You know, like from last year's Super Bowl that I doubted. You know, just because I've seen Tom Brady do that kind of stuff before, but I have to admit that was
an ass whooping.
Like I stopped lying to myself about the third quarter. You know, it's just like, oh my god. You know, like, you know, I wouldn't mind if it was a loss that was like close. You know, and like there was some fight, but god damn. So yeah.
Moving on.
So tomorrow will be Super Bowl 52, rematch of Patriots versus the Eagles. And do you have a score prediction?
I don't have a score prediction, but I think the Pats are going to have the lead the entire game.
Just be comfortable.
Yeah, like I don't think the Eagles are going to have the lead at all during this game. It might be like, you know, a small gap, but I think the Pats are going to have the lead the entire game. That's the only prediction I really have.
Now, the interesting thing about this one is that every single Super Bowl that Tom Brady's been in, he has not scored in the first quarter, which is kind of odd.
Right.
So I'm hoping that we break that record, you know, like, and finally get a score in the first quarter. Just because the Eagles are one of those teams that, you know, like they do a lot of different things.
It's gonna break the MVP curse.
Hopefully.
All I'm saying is, you know, LeBron did it with the Cavs, so if somebody can do it, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, and he'll match Michael Jordan's 6 rings.
Yeah,
you know, and finally
he's gonna be the Jordan of and.
Yeah. Well, I think he's already there, you know, but, you know, of course you got the haters that won't give it to him just because he's 1 ring less than a basketball star. But whatever. What do I know?
Whatever.
You know?
Like, you know, like Bill Russell had 13, so.
Yeah.
You can always make that argument.
I miss Larry Bird.
Really? As a coach?
Yeah. No. Having a white guy, you know, that was that good at basketball. it was nice to have somebody represent. We don't have those anymore.
Yeah, well, we don't have a Mexican to represent anymore. No,
How many Mexicans are in the NBA?
I'm pretty sure there's plenty, but like the only name that comes is Nahara, right? It's the only one I really know, and
the rest of them are second string and
probably. I mean, I don't know.
towel boys.
I don't know him.
They clean the locker room.
That's mean.
But yeah, so Super Bowl 52 is tomorrow, and I probably should be more excited than I am, but I should get that T-shirt that says "Been there, done that."
Oh my god!
Like an asshole.
I'm still trying to look for your Patriots luchador mask. By the way.
Oh yes, I totally forgot about that. That'd be awesome to have tomorrow, but
yeah,
I'll be all right. We'll be there next year, so I can wear it next year.
Oh my god! But by the way, like if you've seen them, I know, but those videos, the shorts that Tom Brady's been doing with what's this fucking network?
Oh yeah, the Tom versus Time thing.
Yeah, those are really, 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 really good. So if you haven't seen it, I mean, like you want to see like the dedication that Tom Brady puts into football.
Yeah,
dude, like his work ethic is just amazing.
Well, that one portion where he's with that mechanics coach, and they're just going over just like the tiniest arm movements, of when he throws. What did the guy say? He says, guys like Tom Brady, they don't come here to get 5% better, 8% better. They come here to get 1% better.
Right.
And because it's not one of those things that's really going to affect a whole lot. It's just going to. It'll be those little things that count in the end of the game, like the little adjustments that you make just to make sure that it's not an interception or it's off a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to be that motivated to do something like that, but
it kind of reminds me of I think I told you I met Jim Broder.
Yeah.
Play with the San Diego Clippers at the time.
Yeah.
So we had him as a guest speaker when I was in golf school because one of the teachers, I guess he was like one of his mentors, and he was asking like, how many of you want to be a professional golfer? And like all the good golfers like raised their hands and stuff, and then he asked, how many of you were up at like 4 a.m. like practicing shots, and all the hands just like slowly go down, and he's like, then you'll never make it. It's just like,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And he was like, he was kind of telling like how like in high school he would be the one that would stay like an extra hour after practice just throwing free throws.
Yep.
And stuff. And he's like, if you're not doing it, then somebody else is, and he's getting better than you right now.
Well, that's like I've said this before. If you ever get a chance, like you want to get motivated, just go on YouTube and find Dwayne Johnson's like morning workout routines. And the dude gets up, like you say, like at 4:30 in the morning, before he's going to go do like a movie shoot or maybe like a bunch of interviews that day, or he's going to do some signing or something like that. Like all this other stuff that he's going to do during the day. Before that, he does a couple hours at the gym. And when I say a couple hours at the gym, he's not doing like, oh, I'm going to do a couple curls and a few bench presses and, no. This dude does a full workout routine. And then he's so jacked up, like he's so excited about doing it that like you watch it, sitting there eating your potato chips and drinking your Coca-Cola going, man, I should really go to the gym. I've said it before. If I had Dwayne Johnson as my like personal coach,
dude, I wouldn't. I don't think I could survive. That'd be awesome.
No, I'd probably die, but I'd have fun doing it. But yeah, there's just some people in this world that are way more motivated than I'm ever going to be, and it kind of makes me sad. But it also, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch someone else do shit like that.
Yeah, and I mean that's okay. It's just.
Is it?
Priorities are different, right? My priorities are different than The Rock's priorities. I don't.
Yeah, he's a dad too, isn't he?
I don't aspire to be a action actor and star and wrestler.
Highest paid action movie star. Yeah. That's what blows my mind the most about the guys like that, especially guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, the going and just doing things just because he wants to do it.
Yep.
Like, just having the motivation to do it. Like, he thought, oh, I want to be Mr. Universe. So he works his ass off for for a long time and makes Mr. Universe, what, like 3 times?
Something like that.
And then he decides, I want to be an actor. It's like, dude, how the fuck are you going to be an actor? Like, before then, guys like him that were all muscle-bound freaks, like, they were the side characters.
Right,
the guys that you'd have there.
And that's how he started, too,
And then he gets Hercules, and then he gets Conan the Barbarian, and then he gets, all these other action movies like Terminator and stuff. And then he decides one day he's going to be governor, and he just becomes governor of California. I mean, the guy is a freak of nature. Yeah. But that's just what successful people do,
And
I heard someone saying, I think it was Joe Rogan who said it about, was it Jeff Bezos of Amazon?
Yeah.
Like, the amount of dedication that guys like him have is, like, off the charts incredible. Like, if you spend a few hours with him, you'll just get tired because of, like, he has everything so micromanaged down to the second on what he's going to do, so that it's programmed so that he can get the most done out of every single minute that he's awake. And that's how he makes money. That's how he makes fuckloads of money.
Right.
Is by just working his ass off for a certain amount of time during the day, because he knows that between this time and this time I got to do this. And we're talking like minutes here. Like, in the next 5 minutes I have to get this done. And it just doesn't stop. It's like, there's no weekends when you're Jeff Bezos.
Well, they are. They're just not like our weekends.
They're planned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
So I didn't tell you this, but my wife had surgery on Thursday.
And I'm assuming she's cool.
Yeah, she's doing well. She had her gallbladder removed.
Okay. Yeah, Christelle had that.
And she had 2 procedures done. She had the gallbladder removed, and I guess there were like some stones that almost like came out.
Uh-huh.
She didn't have any like puncturing the gallbladder, which was cool, right? But the other one, there was one that caused a little bit of concern, so she had to go into emergency surgery. And then I don't know if I told you that we were working on possible hysterectomy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like there wasn't like enough evidence, so they had to like go inside to make sure or to see what was wrong.
Yeah.
And it ended up being some abdominal adhesions. So
whatever the hell that means.
So when you cut yourself, you know how the scar tissue forms kind of like in an oval way. Like when you start healing. So sometimes there's like something that doesn't heal completely. So there's like a gap. And between that gap and some organs, there's like a membrane that forms. So it's your body trying to close that scar tissue.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't really scar, right? Like the proper way. So those adhesions like get stuck with organs, and that causes pain.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah, so they found some of those. They I guess they go in with a fucking knife and just cut him, and that's the fix. Or they burn him or something like that, and that's the fix for it.
Jeez.
So yeah, so now she I mean she's doing well. She's walking, but she's in a little bit of pain. But she hasn't had a single episode of like she had, like it was to the point where like she was like almost like on the floor, just like in pain. So she finally got that fixed.
I got a splinter.
And it's do I say this? It's scary. It's scary, you know, because it is a surgery, even though, you know. So they did a couple of cuts. They did a cut like underneath her, like the inside of her belly button.
Yeah. Yeah.
One like around the sternum. Then there's another cut in like below the rib cage where your liver is.
Yeah.
And then they put a like one of those tubes so they drain like afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I have one of those when I got my appendix removed. So she has like essentially they look like 4 stab wounds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, babe, I'm the one that went to war, and you got all the all the injuries. So we're gonna make up a story that she was like fighting some insurgents over in Afghanistan and Iraq, and
it's how she got out of the ghettos of like Cuba or something like that. She had to fight her way through like a fight club.
Yeah, something like that. So, but
somehow she got mixed in with cockfighting, and like they decided they were going to put her in the ring,
But
no, that sucks, man.
No, but she has a better sense of humor now. You know, she's not like in her resting bitchy face mode all the time now. You know, she's actually
bitchy face.
No, she's actually like smiling and stuff and cracking jokes. It's like I got my wife back, so.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I told you she's been binge watching Breaking Bad.
Okay.
So
and how's she loving it?
She's hooked on it, right?
Of course. That's why I say I didn't ask how is she liking it. I asked how is she loving it.
Yeah, she loves it, and like everybody else, she fucking hates Skylar. And I told her like, yeah, eventually you'll feel sorry for her because she's very a fucking psychopath. And she's like, I don't think so. She's a bitch and whatever, you know. And then
like, you'll see.
Yeah. But then, I told her about my little thing that I've said here in the podcast, that I refuse to watch the last 2 episodes, even though I know what happens, right? And she's just looking at me like, you fucking serious right now? Like you're not gonna watch it with me? And I'm like, no, that show in my mind is still going on. It has an end, right?
And Walter's still kicking ass, taking names.
Yeah. And she's like, well. So she made a deal with me. She said, if you want me to watch Game of Thrones with you, you have to watch the last 2 episodes of Breaking Bad with me.
So,
and I don't know if I'm going to do it.
Anna has not watched any Game of Thrones?
No.
Like 0.
Like
0%.
0 episodes. Virgin.
Wow. Dude, don't tell her anything about Eddard Stark.
No, like I'm not telling her.
Just let her believe that he's one of her favorite characters.
I just sort of like, dude, there's like betrayal, there's dragon, there's a shitload of sex,
boobs,
there's boobies, there's flaccid dicks, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna watch it unless you watch the last 2 episodes of Breaking Bad. So,
little do you know that she's been lying to you this whole time. She's seen all 7 seasons of Game of Thrones.
I doubt it, because every time I mention, I do a quote or whatever, she just looks at me like, what? And I'm like, oh, Game of Thrones. And she's like...
That's on purpose. I'm telling you, she's watched it.
Maybe. I don't know, but...
And then she's gonna slip one day when you're watching an episode, and she'll like say a phrase from the show right before it's said, and you'll be like, oh, you bitch.
Just gonna go, Velar Morgari. I'm like, wait, what? What did you say?
I want a divorce. This is over.
So I looked into the whole tax season thing that we were talking about, and I guess we are gonna be penalized this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucked up, man. Okay, so... I noticed that they didn't have the child tax credit this year. Like everything new is happening in next year's return.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, yeah. Which is I'm kind of bummed because I was looking at a possible $8,000 coming back. Now it's like 6.
Yeah,
maybe 5 but if I'm lucky.
We went to H&R Block like we do every year, and they do the newer thing where they give you like up to $3,000, of it before you get the rest of your return. Like, so we took that $3,000, and we bought some stuff for the house, and we're like preparing to put a fence in and stuff, and try to put in a new drain for the backyard. And I can't believe this is my life now. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I like actually like making improvements to my house, but at the same time, like, I'm like, man, I would really love to just have a quadcopter, you know, which in fact I am getting, by the way.
Oh my God.
But
Did I ever tell you that my nephew got a helicopter? Big fucking thing. It's like, 2 feet or whatever. And
does it look like that?
Yeah, that's the one.
The SEMA?
And fuck, I don't know shit about helicopters, dude. I've never flown one. So
it's kind of hard.
So I throw that thing, and then I throw the other one, and then it starts. You start getting the what's it called, the back blade. What's it called?
Dude, I don't know. I was in the Air Force for 4 years. I have no fucking clue. I didn't work on helicopters. The back blade. We're gonna call it the back blade.
The back blade, and then you have the one on top, the rudder blades. I don't know what they're called.
The rotors,
whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I
top blade.
So the top blade. I put him in max, and I'm like, how come it's not going up? And I'm like, oh, maybe I need to activate the other one. And I go max, and this fucking thing starts flying backwards. And I'm like, and then I just panic. I remember, like, I look down.
What a fucking rookie.
And I look up. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I handed the controls to my nephew.
Dude, you're like the worst.
Dude, of course we're inside. We're indoors. That fucking thing crashed on the wall. And I broke the blades.
Was there awkward silence?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll get you some new ones. He's like, oh, that's okay. Like, my dad broke it the first time we took it out. So.
That was my father-in-law got a one of those quadcopter drones for Christmas. Like my mother-in-law got it for him because he's been wanting one pretty bad too. Like with like a little mounted camera on it. And I saw him the other day, and I went into his little office area, and I look up on one of the boxes. There's the quadcopter, and I'm like, "So, how do you like it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I already broke a blade." I'm like, "Dude, you haven't even had it that long." He's like, "I know. I got to fix it, and I ordered a new one, like a new blade for it, but can't do anything with it now."
Dude, I felt like such an idiot though, and I'm like, yeah, maybe this is not for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for mine to come in. It was I've been buying stuff off of Wish. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, and I eliminated the app because it was way too much fucking notifications, dude. Like way too much.
Oh yeah, I had to like on my email, I had to do the unsubscribe.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll do that periodically. I'll go through my email and like go through and like find people that I don't want to hear from ever again. But yeah, they were sending me like 5 emails a day. I had to turn my notifications off on my phone because it'd be like at 4:00 in the morning that like my phone would light up, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Exactly. I'm having that issue right now with this app. It's called Ibotta.
Yeah.
You've heard of it?
Yes.
So I mean, so far I've just started. It was like 2.5 weeks or whatever, and I got $3 so far.
Yeah.
And but I'm thinking of like it's not even worth it, dude. Because every fucking time it's like an email, or like, hey, you can get $100 if you make your friends subscribe with you, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have any friends. I don't want to.
Like, I don't want to do that to my friends.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of doing the first 20, get a gift card, and then bail out.
Well, I got let me see. I can look at what I got, but I know the last few orders that I've gotten from Wish, I got this this drone for $25, and it's a decent one. But I've found out that Wish is basically a bunch of overstock, and that's why they're selling all this shit for like super cheap.
Right.
That and the fact that it takes forever for you to get it.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
shipping.
You can always go to overstock.com or install Honey on your computer, and
yes,
right. if you're really looking for a cheap deal. But I mean, I get it. But I get it.
I did get a micro SD card for my phone because the Note 8 can hold a 256 micro SD. So I was like, oh, well, I'll go on Wish and see if they have any. Well, they had the Verbatim brand, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good name brand, but I doubt that that's what I'm going to actually get. Like I'm going to get some off-brand or something. Well, it came in the mail. It's a Verbatim. I'm like, oh, cool. So I put that in my phone. That's what's in there right now, and that cost me $3
with shipping.
Yeah, because it's $250, and then I bought a purple laser pointer just for the hell of it. That was I think that was free, and you just pay for shipping like $1 or something. And let me see what else. Wireless charger for my phone, which my phone is on right now, and that was like $5. Even though I fucking hate it, it's cheap. But then I did get the quadcopter, and then I got some like Star Wars art for our bedroom, for really cheap.
You're such a nerd. Do you stare at Han Solo's eyes while you're like having sex?
No, because the only photo I have of Han Solo in this room that's not a toy is the one that we took when we were at Disneyland, and Han Solo is me. So that'd be kind of weird.
And it'd be weird if you're staring at me as Luke Skywalker with glasses.
Luke Skywalker with glasses. I should take a picture of that. And I think I've said this before. I need to take a picture of it and put it up on the website.
We should.
Yeah, we should have done my daughter as Wicket the Ewok. But they charge per person.
Yeah, that's a fucking
like, oh, it's only $300 a person.
Give me 5.
Oh yeah, but I like Wish. I think it's a cool app, but there's some things that are just ridiculously priced, at the same time, and some things that aren't even actually what they're like what you think it is. Like you think you're buying like a GoPro camera. Oh, GoPro camera. It's only $10, and then you buy it and it comes in. It's the GoPro camera case. Like, oh, that makes more sense.
It's like I can't return this to China.
Yeah, they won't take it back.
Yeah. What's how Valentine's Day is pretty soon, right? Coming up. That's like the next thing. So I don't
celebrate it.
I was giving some really bad Valentine's gift advice
Okay.
And I was telling people to get the movie Blue Valentine. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
It's with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, very sexy.
If you ever get a chance to watch this movie, don't watch it with your spouse or your girlfriend. Like, you will break up. It's such a fucking downer.
Do you know that movie, The Breakup with Vince Vaughn?
Yeah.
The wife and I got into an argument over that movie.
Yeah, I bet.
Because, okay, you've seen the movie, and I'm sure that most of our listeners have seen the movie. Like how they're arguing throughout the entire movie about all this stupid shit, right? Like the dishes and having guests over, and later on it becomes worse. But Christelle and I started arguing about the little things, because I made the point that I don't agree with Vince Vaughn because I think he's being a complete prick and a lazy asshole. But at the same time, I do understand some of the things he's saying.
Well, yeah,
and I feel like because she's kind of being a dick.
Because you're a guy.
Yes, and I understood that, and I even said that during the argument. I made the point. I'm like, but I might be biased because I'm a guy, and that's just kind of how we think, in some ways. Maybe not completely, because I don't play Madden all fucking day, but whatever. And we got into an argument about that, and at the end of the night, we're just kind of we finally just go, this is kind of stupid. Why are we even arguing about this? It's not even our fight. It's not even a real fight. This is a movie. But I hate when that shit happens.
Well,
dude.
If you watch Blue Valentine, you'll probably sleep on the couch that night.
Is it about cheating?
No, well, sort of. It does have cheating involved with not the male character, but the female character.
Why does it hurt more when it's the
Um,
female that does it in movies?
I don't know, because of pride.
Maybe. Even if it's like a lesbian couple, like I feel terrible when one of them goes out and cheats. You know, it's just messed up.
Yeah, but the thing about the breakup though on Vince Vaughn and what's her
Jennifer
name?
Aniston.
Yeah, that's like your stereotypical, like full on a guy being oblivious about what the woman really wants.
Yeah.
And not, but that's also an example of what a woman should never do, right? Because we're not fucking mind readers. And I've said this before, like women do these subtle signals. They give these subtle signals that are pretty obvious to women, but they're not obvious to men.
Well,
right?
even then, they're obvious later on when they explain it to us. You know, it's like it's just that it's worded in such a way that you're not giving me enough information.
Right. The best example that I can think of is the whole, hey, would you like to help me wash the dishes?
Yeah.
Right. And I think Vince
what
Vaughn
they're really saying is, come help me out.
Yeah, and Vince Vaughn is like, why would I want to wash dishes? Like, you know. And it's like, you know, it's because he's going like, you're asking me a question, you're giving me a choice, I'm saying no because I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in reality, it wasn't a choice from the very beginning. So she gets frustrated, he gets frustrated, and then you start fucking arguing. And It's like I told you, like, if you ever, like, whenever I have, like, couples that are arguing a lot, I always ask them this question. I want you to tell each other, I feel respected when you blank, right?
Yeah.
So usually a guy will go, I feel respected when you tell me things like black and white, tell me what you want to the point, right? Women will go, I feel respected when you take my feelings in consideration with the stuff that you're doing.
When neither one of them understands the other.
So when they get into an argument, what do you think is happening? You default to get to the point. Girl defaults to, you're not taking my feelings into consideration. So that's when you get into a fight, dude, that's where you fucking clash.
Yeah.
So
whatever happened to the good old days with the ladies from the 50s, you know?
Warriors. Those were true warriors right there.
Yes, they were, and I have the deepest respect for those women, man.
It's funny because
especially watching shows like I Love Lucy, because it shows in that show.
Well, I think
like the way that they felt about women that stay at home and stuff.
Right, and you know, I think if you want to see like the ideal couple, the perfect couple, and how a relationship should be, watch The Addams Family.
Yes.
Watch the relationship.
Isn't that weird?
Watch the relationship that Gomez and what's her name? Morticia have. That's a perfect relationship right there.
Yeah, because
they still
I know it's silly, but
they still have their
Gomez has that weird thing where he's still a guy, and like he always starts off like, why the fuck are you even asking me this? You know, why are you telling me this? And then he'll like sit there and he'll actually ponder what she's saying to him. And he'll be like, oh, you know, and be like, oh, I love you so much, you know, and they'll do their little creepy things, you know, and yeah, it makes sense.
But
that's a good example, Zuma.
That's my advice to all you men and women.
You like Gomez and Morticia.
Yeah. If you can figure out that dynamic that they have, dude, it's fucking solid. You will have minimal arguments, minimal fights. But it will never.
Even if you have kids like Wednesday and Pugsley,
right? And it will never escalate to, you know, a Blue Valentine scenario or a, you know, the breakup scenario.
Yeah,
because you know what your woman wants, and as a woman, you'll know what your man wants. So
it's good advice, Sumi. It's good advice. You know, we did watch Thor Ragnarok the other night.
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
It was good. Yeah. It was nice because it broke away from the whole Avengers thing. I mean, you did have Thor and Hulk together for most of the movie. But that was pretty much it.
Isn't it funny that how Marvel finally learned that Hulk is better as a secondary character?
Yes, but here's the thing: is that they finally got to the point where they allowed Hulk to talk. You know, like and actually have like his kind of like dumb conversations that he has. You know, where he's not stupid. He just doesn't speak well.
Right.
But they had that, and you know, the whole Thor dynamic with his brother Loki and everything. So that was cool. You know, so it went back to kind of like the roots of the Thor movie, the original Thor movie. So that was nice because I like that first one. But the dynamic that they, you know, like Thor had with Hulk was actually really funny and really good because you got to experience both Bruce Banner and Hulk in the movie. And I have to say, Jeff Goldblum has made his comeback, and he is fucking hilarious in this movie.
Does he still?
I love Jeff Goldblum.
Does he still stutter a lot?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, but dude, it's so good for this role. Because his role, he's like kind of like the leader of like this trash planet, and he has like these arena fights and stuff, and he's kind of stupid, you know, but he's also really effeminate. So you have to watch it, dude. It's so good. But we watched that, and then we watched another movie again. We watched Interstellar because, you know, like I wanted to go over some things with the movie. You know, like, because we had talked before, like, how, you know, it pisses us off that they go through the whole, you know, time is relative and space-time can be bent, and you can, you know, you fold the paper and you poke through two holes in space, you know. And it's like, yes.
The explanation of every wormhole sci-fi movie out there.
Yeah, it's like everybody knows this analogy. You can stop doing it. And I had the unique opportunity, even though I've watched this movie like twice before with Christelle, to be able to explain to her and also kind of learn myself, like about the fourth and fifth dimension and higher dimensions, on how you help a three-dimensional being understand higher dimensions, as like the Tesseract rule, right?
Right.
Where we have a visual representation of what a tesseract is, but it's actually false.
But it's sort of.
You know,
it's like...
Yeah, like the box within a box,
yeah.
You know, type of thing. And that's a 4-dimensional cube, whatever. Anyway, and I was able to go through that, and Christelle asked me the question, you know, like, why is he there? Like, why does this moment happen? Like when he falls through that portal or whatever it is, you know, where he can see all the points in time of his daughter's bedroom,
mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, well, it's, you know, it's a representation of time being non-linear as all happening at the same time, even though you can see and experience each one individually. And it would be the same thing for like a 3-dimensional being, you know, like the climbing in and out of a canyon. You know, like you can go here, but you can go there as well, and that's just how a 4-dimensional being would see it, you know. And it was a really interesting experience going through that, because like after we watched it and I was able to go through that and kind of like realize some of it myself, was that portion of the movie was actually really well done.
Yeah.
Except for, you know, like I would say like the being able to affect it as a 3-dimensional being, that kind of irked me a little bit. Like he's able to, you know, and I know that they say like the future humans who had built that place for him made it that way so that he could do that. And I understand that, but he's still a 3-dimensional being. He wouldn't be able to affect anything. You know, and I'm just saying that part, you know, bugs me, but it had to work for the movie, which is fine. But I will say that Matt Damon's character pissed me off even more this time around.
Why?
I don't know, because there's just something about it's like, you know, yes, he's a coward, you know, and he sent out the signal to get somebody to come save him because he knew his planet was trash and we couldn't have humans living there. But he sends out the signal just so he could have self-preservation, right? His character pissed me off the most because he keeps on giving like these little speeches as he's like he kills or attempts to kill I forget his name, Matthew McConaughey's character. Anyway, he keeps on giving these little speeches about, you know, the heroism and cowardice, you know, and all that stuff. And it's like, dude, just fucking walk away. You know, it's like, dude, nobody really does that. You know, like there wouldn't be this like, you know, epic conversation that he's having with the guy he killed, you know, in reality, it's like, dude, just fucking walk away. You know that you'd just be running back to the ship. You know, you've spent how many years on this planet trying to self-preserve, and now you're going to have a conversation with the guy that you're trying to kill? Like, I don't know. It just bugged me. And that's the whole reason that he ends up, you know, not making it at the end. You know? So it's, I don't know. Anyway, but yes, one more thing about movies I have to give you is the Conan the Barbarian score. I've fallen back in love with it.
Dun, 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 dun,
dude,
dun.
It's just so good for such a mediocre movie.
Mediocre movie? What the fuck are you talking about? It's not a mediocre.
You cannot tell me that the acting is spectacular apart from James Earl Jones.
The acting is amazing, all right? It's classic 80s.
Yes, it is classic 80s, but that doesn't mean that it's great acting.
No, but a lot of it is just visual. Like, fucking the first 30 of the movie, nobody talks.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's the epitome of a guy movie, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, but,
Lonnie,
I don't know, the music for it is just so far above the quality of the acting.
Lonnie, what is best in life?
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women. Oh yeah, the part when he gets taken as a kid to that mill or whatever that he's got to push with all these other kids, that then slowly, like, the kids start getting taken away or they die or whatever happens to them.
Which, by the way, that would never happen if you're in slavery.
Yeah, no, we need you to do something productive, and you're not going to get huge doing that.
I was like, man, I need a mill. It's been like Arnold in a couple of years.
I think every kid our age was watching that, going, "Dude, I need something to turn." You know? Somebody get me a mill that I have to push for like 20 years, and I'll be fine.
But it's amazing what a fucking montage can do, though. Like, you know, he's just pushing the same mill for years and years and years, and it was
a good montage.
He got fucking ripped, and it's like, damn, bro.
Well, it was a simple montage, you know, like it had like the people dwindling away until it was just him, and then they did the last shot, you know, like where he's pushing the mill by himself, but they didn't show how big he was.
Right.
So, like, his hair's draped over his face, and he finally looks up, and you're like, oh shit, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then it kind of pulls back, and you see this monster of a man. You're like, holy shit. And then they just take him and throw him into pit fighting. And
you kill my mother. You kill my father.
You kill my father. You kill my whole people.
I want to watch Conan now.
Who are you? They put him on the fuzz tree.
Do you remember we had this conversation about the fucking gay ass? Or no, it's not that it was gay. It was like fucking creepy as fuck.
You mean GHEY, gay?
Yeah.
Stupid.
It was just fucking creepy when he's like, I remember my father used to take me to the forest and pick up wild blueberries.
Pick up wild blueberry.
You imagine sitting by the fire with that guy, just fucking huge. You know you can't fuck him up. If he wanted you, he can anal rape you like multiple times, and you wouldn't be able to do anything. And
back in those days, it would have happened.
Yeah, and this motherfucker's like, a fucking barbarian. And he's saying this gay ass shit about picking wild blueberries with his dad. Are you kidding me?
Don't laugh. Don't laugh, motherfucker.
I'd be like, oh, okay, Conan. I think I found another shelter over here. You can stay by the fire. I'm gonna sleep over here. There are wolves over there. I'll take my chances.
Yeah. If there's anything scarier than a muscle-bound pit fighter, it's a muscle-bound pit fighter that's a simpleton. You're talking about blueberries. Like, yeah.
Do you imagine? All it takes for you to say is like, yeah, that's not fucking gay. And him to just like get offended. It'll just fucking put this broadsword like.
Yeah, he'd probably do the mountain thing that happened to the Viper.
Yeah.
Just pop right in your eyes, crush your head. And not feel a thing. Sleep easy that night. Laughing about the way your head gushed. But Yeah. Can you imagine, like, it's not really a tangent, but can you imagine how scary this world would be if a bunch of homeless people were all of a sudden muscle bound?
I mean,
People that have like a mental disability of some kind or mentally disturbed, and all of a sudden they have the physical ability to hurt people seriously.
fuck.
I think we should employ him in the Marines. Have you gotten any call from Solomon?
No.
Maybe he's protecting the vice president or something.
Maybe he got pulled into work, or his woman told him, "No, you're not doing this shit." So Saul.
No, I listened to the last one. No.
I'd be like, so I'm gonna say, because he's gonna listen to this, so I'm just gonna say, Saul, man, the fuck up. Gotta put that woman in check.
What's it? Get your hoe on a chain? Is that what it's called?
Something like that.
Something really disrespectful.
So Lonnie,
what's up, buddy?
You ever had somebody that you really don't like adding you on social media?
Just this last week. Or at least they tried. Thank God for the accept button.
What do you do in that case? You just leave it? Just ignore it?
Well, usually it really depends on the person, like how much they annoy me or how much they piss me off. If they're one of those people that it's like, I don't know if I really want to like talk to you at all, like ever again, I'll kind of let it stew. I'll let it sit there in my inbox of friend, invites or whatever. But if it's somebody that is, blatantly just a complete asshole, or somebody that I really, really don't like.
What if this person is an asshole? You don't like him. You tolerate him, but he doesn't know that you don't like him.
Then I would hit accept and mute.
There's like completely oblivious about, whether you like him or not. Well, that's what it was recommended to me. It's like, well, you can always accept and you can click unfollow or, mute or whatever. That way you don't get their shit. But I'm like, yeah, but they still can see my shit.
Yeah.
You
can always share posts too. Like the thing about Facebook is like you can always share with certain people and you can create groups. Well, just create a group of all your friends except him.
Dude, I don't even know how to fucking keep a video that I've seen in Facebook on the wall.
Or you can just not use Facebook.
It's kind of hard because where am I going to get my memes from?
I don't know.
And by the way, it is thanks to Facebook in that, sometimes I see a funny video and I click on it and then you know how it brings you a new screen and you can scroll down to see more videos?
Yeah.
So I showed you this before the podcast, but I found this guy called Cryptic Wisdom.
Cryptic Wisdom, yes.
And I wanna tag him and hopefully we'll get on his Twitter and say, hey, we mentioned you. Check us out.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because I really, really like this music, and so he's a rapper, right? And granted, the video that came up was just a song, and it's called. If you want to start, listen to either his mix of "They Forgot About Dre," or the song that I listened was is called "Last Stand."
Okay, and is that his?
I think it's his. I don't know, but it's such a fucking amazing song, and if you're into rap. I sent it to one of my friends, and he's like, yeah, this is pretty good for a white guy, and I'm like, he's not white. So he's like, no way. He's like, yeah, he's not white, and I show him him like doing his like live like one take rap song, and he's like,
yeah.
Holy shit, like his voice does not match his body. So, but quick shout out. Big fan. I'm listening to his mix. Like I just put him like an autoplay while I'm working. So a lot of people are telling me like, man, whatever you're listening must be good because you're like typing and you're just like hats bobbing. Like,
I've been trying to get my my youngest son to like repeat certain song lyrics and stuff like that. Like a lot of it has been rap. Oh, excuse me. I just had to revert back to adolescence there. most of it has been like rap songs. You know, like I'm not having him cuss or anything, but one of them has been this isn't a rap song, but breaking the law. Because I've been walking around just going breaking the law. And so finally, like he's only 3 years old, he's still walking around, you know, like with his belly all pooched out. And he just one day just breaking the law. I'm like, yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm definitely gonna tag him and at him on Twitter and let him know that we're talking about him.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm sharing
like your
that,
music.
I'm sharing that with everybody that I know. It is just like, dude. Well, everybody that I know that likes rap, right? Because not a lot of people like rap, but I'm like, this is like good rap.
You know what? And I will argue that a lot of people do like rap, even if you've never listened to like actual rap music. I will say that if you like country music, you like rap. You just like it in a different form.
Yeah,
because that's all country music is.
Because I'm just
it's just without all the bitches and hoes.
Camel Man.
Dude,
Don't ask me how I know that song.
Dude, there's so many country songs I could sing for you from memory, just because of who I grew up with.
That's the one music style like I never got into. Like I'll listen to rancheras, like I guess it's like the Mexican version of country, but dude, it's not even close. Like this fucking music's amazing. But American country.
See, I like old country, like the.
I mean, I can listen to like King of the Road. That's like, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's as far as I will take it. I can listen to Johnny Cash, but it's fucking Johnny Cash, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I don't really consider him country music though.
And
it's country
like I said,
music, but it's not.
And like I said, that's, you know, like the deep, like real going to your roots country. Nah, it's not for me.
Yeah. See, I still like the old like Hank Williams type stuff, and you know, like the real twangy type of stuff. But it's only when I'm in the mood. You know, like I can only listen to it every now and then. I don't like all this Rascal Flatts type bullshit. Yeah, because I'm sorry, that's not country. That's pop music.
Are you talking about like the rappers that put in, or there's this like new country music that put in rappers,
what?
So they start rapping and then sing country at the same time?
That sounds awful.
It sounds pretty fucking shitty, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't. See, I draw the line at Shania Twain. You know, I'm sorry, because she's pushing the envelope. That's a little too much for me.
Isn't she like the Britney Spears of country?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
How old is Shania Twain now?
I have no fucking clue,
dude. She was in like her late 30s when I was a kid. Let me see. Shania Twain. We're gonna find this out. Shania Twain is 52 years old.
She still has. Yeah. Is she still looking good?
She still looks good. She still looks good for her age. I mean,
must be all that organic meat.
the grass-fed beef.
Grass-fed meat. If we have any country listeners, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, it's just funny. It's just funny. So I'm just a camel man. Dude. Get the fucking song like out of your head now.
Yeah, every now and then I'll get some like new music or a new band or singer or something like that, and I'll kind of be into it for a little while, you know. But then I'll kind of drop it, because newer music is just not as good to me as older music used to be. But now I sound old. Like, okay, for example, what's her name? The bigger girl who sings Skyfall. What's her name? Adele.
You mean Ursula from The Little Mermaid?
Yeah, pretty much what she is. But
dude, I fucking hate her songs. Fucking man-hating. I'll stop there. It can fill in the blank.
There's feminist bullshit. No, I liked some of her songs. Like, I loved the song Skyfall, but it wasn't written by her, you know. You know, but it's a good song. It was a good intro to the movie Skyfall. And now I'm just kind of like, you know, I don't really like Adele. It was good for that one or two hits, and you're like, yeah, I'm done. And I cannot fucking stand Meghan Trainor. I am tired of seeing her.
I don't know who that is.
I'm tired of hearing her. She did the All About the Bass song.
Oh, that bitch. Yeah. Yeah.
Just, and yeah, anyway. But the one pop singer I can kind of like feel bad for, and like we've said this before, she's not really doing a whole lot of music lately, but it's Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only one I can go back and listen to your songs and not hate it completely because I know who you are now.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't listen to her songs. Like, it's been...
You can't listen to Toxic?
No, not really. Like, like I was into Britney Spears when I was like in, I don't know, 6, 7, like the 7th grade or something like that, 8th grade. And then all of a sudden, like, her music just started sounding like shit to me. But I was it's to be fair to her, it's because I was introduced to rock music. And you know how rock music is just like all fucking emo, depressed, and yeah. And I was just like, yeah, I was done.
I can't do this hippy dippy bullshit anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, but like I said, like, she has how many fucking golden records or whatever.
She's doing something records.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I'm not criticizing her success. I just say that style of music, I grew out of it, and I couldn't go back.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Michael Jackson, like, because I grew up with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, well, he's the king of pop.
But even like some of his songs don't really sound like pop music, You
mean like You Are Not Alone?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're black or white.
Yeah. So
we are the world.
But then you got something like Thriller or Beat It, they sound more like on the rock or the soft rock side, like,
But that's what he did. I mean, he would do that. Like, he had the guy was so talented. So, and I wouldn't say he's the most talented singer, but goddamn was he a showman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The world is a worse place without Michael. I'm sorry. You can think whatever you want to about him, but the guy was just absolute talent.
Yeah. So I decided to put a hoodie, right? I'm fucking sweating all of this shit out. Hopefully tomorrow I'll feel better.
Well, dude, have you heard about this flu going around?
Dude, that's what I got, man.
Don't die. Because we've had like 4 people here in Washington die from the flu.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, man. Like, this is like one of those bad strains from people not taking their fucking antibiotics completely all the way. It's all these massive,
I think
powerful diseases.
I think mine is viral.
Oh, so you should be good.
Yeah, so.
You'll live. You just got to wait those out.
Apple cider vinegar, baby.
Dude, that shit is so awesome. I keep on trying to tell people about apple cider vinegar, like, and they always think that I'm saying the same thing. Like, everybody thinks that I'm saying, oh, it's a cure-all. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It just cuts your sick time in half.
Yeah. It's definitely not a cure-all. It gives you a boost to your immune system.
Hell yeah.
So
I feel so much better when I take apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, I'll be a fucking hypocrite here if I'm sitting here telling you like, oh yeah, it's a cure-all. I drink it and I feel automatically better. I know I don't feel automatically better. It's just, it cuts down on time, and like, do you just feel a little bit more, I don't know, alive, I guess. Yeah, like when you're sick, you know how you're so fucking down, like you kind of get like a second win.
Yeah.
And if I don't take it, I really don't. So
I just hate being sick altogether. I know some people, they're like, yeah, it happens. Like, no, I fucking hate it. I get pissed when I get sick. It's like, dude, this is shitty.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do things. I want to like be able to go to work and do something. And when I have to stay home because I'm sick instead of just calling in sick because I need a day off or something, it's just the worst, But I haven't actually been like really sick in a while, so that's good. But apple cider vinegar, people, you need to start taking that shit.
Drink that shit.
Yeah. But we're at about an hour now. If you want to go ahead and take our halfway break.
Yeah, let's do that. I really gotta take a piss.
All right. Well, we'll be back.
We'll be back in 2 seconds.
We are back.
Should I say it?
You should say it.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, we're not sorry. I'm not going to apologize. I'm a coxman. Yeah. So I had to tell you about this new technology that has come out. Well, it's not new necessarily, but the technology is now available to everybody, and it's called deep fakes. Have you heard about this shit?
No.
It's where you can take any face, and the program uses a certain type of artificial intelligence, and it will put a face on someone else's face for video, and it looks real. So they could take anybody, like, so what it's been used for most commonly is, of course, porn, right? So they're putting, like, celebrities who have never done anything, like that. They're putting their faces on, like, these porn actresses and stuff. But one of the big concerns has been, like, what if they decided to, just change what somebody was saying or doing to, like, make it look like they were at a certain location or saying something that they didn't say. And I'll have to show you a video. It's kind of a funny video, but it's kind of a representation, like a poor representation, but it's still a representation of what they can do with the technology. Let me see. Deep fakes. I'll get it for you.
So you're telling me I can make a video and I can put Riley Reid's face on, I don't know, let's say my wife.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to send you...
Dude.
Yes, you can. You can do all that.
Dude.
Okay, so I'm sending this link to you.
All right.
And it's pretty funny. This is from Man of Steel. And they put Nicolas Cage's face on Amy Adams' body. And it's the weirdest thing ever because it's really creepy. And like I'm telling you, this is a poor representation of what they can do. There's some really high quality ones, but this one's still pretty good for being like an amateur.
Whoa.
Okay, so you watching it?
Yeah.
Isn't that creepy? And it still has her voice and everything, but it'll match the facial movements of the original character or whatever.
All I gotta say is that Nick Cage does not look sexy as a woman.
No, he does not.
Wow.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like I said, the big concern with this is, people using this as, say, that there's been a big concern about like revenge porn. Like, because all you have to do is take like your ex-girlfriend's picture and put it into this program, and you could put it into a porn video.
Wow.
And now her face is up on, a porn site,
X videos,
doing terrible things.
YouPorn.
Yeah, whatever they are. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. I'll have to.
Why is it called deepfakes? When I saw this on the set list, I thought you were talking about people being like fake,
Oh, that is an issue, though. That is an issue.
Man, like fucking that show, what's it called? Catfish? Man, it's gonna go fucking off the charts now.
Catfish?
You never seen Catfish?
No.
Have you ever seen the documentary Catfish?
No.
It's people that put fake profiles and they start long relationships with people on Facebook and shit.
Oh, dude.
And then they call and stuff and I love you and shit. And
oh, so they're a catfish.
Yeah. So
I know the term.
So they meet or they want to meet and they always find an excuse to not make it. so this guy that has to show like he was I guess a victim of a catfish. She pretended to be like this model that like she's like super hot, right? And
there's red flag number one.
And the whole documentary is about him and his friend chasing to meet this girl, and she ends up being like, she's like married and
so it's a woman.
Yeah, and she's like not as attractive as the model that she used on the pictures and stuff.
Kind of fugly.
So after that, they have like their own MTV show or something like that, and there's a lot of people that fall victim of these And most of the ones that do it are women for some reason.
But why?
Dude, attention. I don't know.
A need for adventure.
Yeah, but guys do it as well. You know, like they find like this fucking model with like hard abs and shit, and like just
Of
muscular,
course.
and this guy's like fucking nerdy and shit. And yeah, dude. But they exposed them on the show. They were like, "Yeah, this is not fucking cool," type thing, and you know.
Well, that's like that.
They pretty much burned them on social media, which is fine. I don't have any sympathy for them, but you know,
Honestly, when people get destroyed on social media, it doesn't bother me. I don't see what the problem is. You know, like like say even somebody that did nothing wrong, like like all the people that will do the cyberbullying bullshit. I'm sorry, it's cyberbullying. It's not a real thing to me. It's like if you don't like it, get off the computer or get off your cell phone. I don't understand all this shit. Like, we have to stop all this cyberbullying. It's like to me, it's the same thing as like the whole march against bullying at school. It's like, yeah, I get it's an issue. I had to deal with bullies. I had to, I've dealt with bullies before. Not nearly as bad as some people have, but I don't know. I don't feel like if those kids have a parent or some type of mentor that, why are you not talking to your kid about this? Why are you not working them through it and saying, you don't have to worry about this. Like, this is not something that you have to take issue with. If they're really doing things that are dangerous to you or things that are hurting you or damaging your psyche in some way, then you need to talk to somebody. But kids aren't told that. No parents don't talk to their kids anymore, apparently. I mean, they'd rather, do their own thing and watch Netflix, and I don't know. I think I went a little deeper than I planned on doing with that, but yeah, I don't feel bad for people that get catfished.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, like I said, that's what came to mind when you put deep fakes. I'm like, like another movement. So
yeah.
But
well, it's crazy to me how far artificial intelligence is coming, that we're integrating into all this technology now. It's scary.
It is scary.
I've seen Terminator. I know how this shit ends.
It's fucking Skynet. It's like, oh man.
Well, it's like when we had Doug on. Like I don't see a good end to artificial intelligence.
You don't?
I don't. Like, I can imagine it. I can imagine a good end to it. Like, where machines and humans work side by side in conjunction with one another, and we build this utopia, and it's like, yeah, I can imagine it. But I don't think it's going to happen. It's okay. For example, like, why, if aliens did exist and really came here, and they were so far above our intelligence and technology that they, we to them just kind of look like, insects, like dumb and stupid and wasteful. Why the fuck would a higher being that has no use for you keep you around and help you, like put you in basically a welfare state? Because that's everything that you would need in order to survive if artificial intelligence was in control, right?
I mean, cheap labor.
Yeah, I guess you'd be a slave, right?
But then
in some capacity.
No, but even that wouldn't make sense, because you still gotta feed us.
Yeah, and machines are cheaper.
Yeah,
machines are easier.
You can just create ant machines and make them do the work for you.
And I'm not trying to go too Matrix with it all, but that's basically what it is. I'm not saying they're going to put us all in like pods and suck us all our BTUs of energy, but it's like, why is that so far-fetched?
It's true. You get a point there.
We think it's far-fetched because there's movies of all this shit, so you get numb to it. It's the same thing for, anything else. Like, you get numb to all of this, like, crime happening in certain businesses, and like a CEO doing backdoor deals with somebody. It's like you you get so numb to these things happening in movies, or like the Bourne trilogy, shit like that happening where like a government agency will do like these black op types things. Dude, that shit happens. Maybe not to that like ridiculous capacity where there's that one guy who's ridiculously, talented and all these things because he was programmed. It may not be that, but they do bad shit like that.
Right.
Like, so why is it so far-fetched to think that, we're making artificial intelligence? Why the hell would artificial intelligence need us?
I mean, somebody's got to tie up those screws, right?
Eventually, no. And I think the one thing that makes it more real to me, like I've heard people say, well, a robot can't take my job. It's like because they're a manager or, somebody that sits at a desk. It's like, yes, they can. In fact, they are already doing it.
Right.
If you put your appointments and stuff into your online calendar, that's part of it. Yeah. That's the beginning. We used to have secretaries to do that. But like the bus drivers where I work, with all these driverless cars and stuff that are coming out and it's becoming more prevalent, I look at that and that's like the most realistic one to me. Is we have like 350 drivers or something like that where I'm at, and they already have driverless buses.
That's funny. My my friend Justin was telling me that they have a project. I think it's in Arizona or something like that, where they're doing like the first like semi trucks.
Yeah.
Self-driving, but they can only go one way.
What?
Yeah, so because it's illegal or it's not approved to do it on the way back or something like that. So they do their testing with, they still have a driver to manage or whatever.
Yeah.
And when they get from point A to point B, to go from point B to point A, they have to like transport it back. They can't drive it back or something like that.
That's crazy to me. And right now it may be at the stage, like where, like all the self-driving cars, like you have to be in the car, right? Like the car will not go anywhere unless you're in the car. And that's not because it can't go anywhere without you. That's because the law that we have now is that you kind of have to be in the car in case something happens, right? In case the technology, turns off or something like that. But it's not because we have to have it that way.
Right.
And that's the scary part is like, we don't need humans to do this stuff. We're just doing it because there's some guy working on a panel that goes, maybe we shouldn't like cut out the human completely because that sounds scary. It's like, hey, how about we don't bring the fucking, technological apocalypse like tomorrow? That would be great.
It'll be, and then I made the joke that was like, it's gonna be like that Stephen King movie.
Which one is that?
The one with the self-driving trucks, the killer trucks.
Oh yes, God, what was that called with Emilio Estevez?
Yeah, and then they're like, all they need is fuel. All they want is fuel. I'm like, just let them run dry. So...
Yeah, I mean, it's like get up on the roof. Well,
one of them had a machine gun turret, right?
Oh, yeah. So you can't get away. It's like Twisted Metal meets,
but
artificial intelligence.
But then it's like my logic is, if you kill me, you can't get your fuel. So, fuck you.
Well, I think there was one movie that, and you've seen it. The one movie that kind of makes the whole artificial intelligence thing kind of too real is Ex Machina.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that yet?
No.
You gotta watch it. It's you'll watch it and you'll be like, fuck machines, fuck robots, fuck artificial intelligence. I just want to live out in the country somewhere. It's messed up movie. It's a good movie, but it is messed up. It has the guy that played Poe Dameron from the new Star Wars movies.
Never seen any Star Wars movies.
the pilot, you don't know.
The gay pilot.
Dark-haired. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll go with that.
Dude,
That's how you associate with Star Wars.
I can read between the lines. You can have my jacket. Oh, thanks, bro.
You liked it. But yeah, speaking of that, like, I was looking up just recently. I was looking up fallout shelters, like the world's most expensive fallout shelters.
You mean the ones that wouldn't work because of the death?
Yeah, like there was the one where the guy had made. Well, and this was the funny thing is like I'm looking through it, and the one guy or one company had made a fallout shelter in an old missile silo. Seems to be the popular option, right? Because it runs pretty deep into the ground, and like it's got a lot of room and everything. And this thing was enormous. Like they had the levels where each level would have like from the silo it would spread out into these big ass rooms. So there's like a theater in one room, and then like the walls of course have like this landscape image to of course make you feel like you're not in like a nuclear apocalypse. And then they have the dining room and everything, and it's all nice and plush and everything. I'm like, dude, if a fucking nuclear bomb goes off, this shit is fucked. Because they have the vents that go up into the surface, Yeah. I'm like, that right there is your weakness. That ruins the whole fucking thing. Because if you have to vent oxygen from the outside,
yeah,
and there's like nuclear fallout, I mean, how does this not? I don't know. I was just going through it, and like none of them had a viable solution to keeping oxygen, like fresh, healthy oxygen, within the fallout shelter. I'm like, okay, so all of this is bullshit. Like every single one of them. So we're fucked. That's basically what it is. There's no fallout shelter that could help you. You're fucked.
Yeah.
That whole like blast from the past movie's bullshit.
Yeah, and I was reading on fallout shelters that most of them don't have like enough depth to actually withstand a strike. Right?
Yeah,
so
even the deep ones.
Yeah. So it's like, you're in ground zero, you're fucked, dude.
So basically all fallout shelters are a known comfort that won't help.
Right.
Like it's just to make you feel a little better before you die horribly.
I mean, if you think about it, it's just a good way to take your money.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You might as well just sit on the surface, and get out your lounge chair, and watch the nuclear sunrise. Speaking of which, did you ever watch that movie, These Final Hours? The Australian film?
I don't think so.
It's basically the same type of plot as Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, but not a comedy.
Is that the one with Willem Dafoe?
No.
No. Willem Dafoe I think is 444.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
But yeah, that was a really good movie. Just because I already liked Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, even though it was a comedy and everything. But it did kind of give a good depiction of like how people just say, fuck it. There's an asteroid, it's going to hit the Earth, so, let's just do whatever the hell we want. Mm. Well, These Final Hours, it takes that same ideal, but it makes it more realistic, so there's just awful shit happening. Because who cares, right? Like, some people are just abandoning their kids because they're like, well, they're going to fucking die anyway.
Jesus.
It's like, oh my God. And there's one guy, I think he was just looking for someone to help him kill him and his family so they didn't have to go through all the stress. So they were just like sitting in a library, and he's got his gun, but he just can't shoot his family, and he's begging this guy that shows up to just shoot him and his family. Like, oh my God. But it was a good movie though. You should watch it.
I mean, that way, if it's not suicide or murder-suicide, right? You can still go to heaven because somebody else killed you.
Sure, yeah.
I guess.
Whatever the rules for these super religious people are. I would say that movie is pretty close to the depressive state that you'll go into watching The Road.
Oh, God. Such a hard movie to watch.
I watched it twice.
Yeah, me too.
It was hard enough.
It's if you haven't seen The Road, check it out. It's I mean,
but prepare yourself.
Yeah, you're warned though. You will be depressed for the next like 3 days or so after watching that movie.
And that shit'll show up in your dreams too.
Oh, speaking of post-apocalyptic movie. So I saw this movie. I don't know if you ever seen it. It's called Screamers. It's not a porno.
Screamers.
It's a 1980s movie, but it has RoboCop in it.
Okay, you mean the original RoboCop?
Yeah, the original RoboCop. But this movie works as kind of like a standalone. It's a standalone sort of prequel to Blade Runner.
I'm looking at the pictures.
It is really, really well done, dude.
What is this weird, like, Terminator alien?
So the plot is this: they're in this planet, right? And you have the Alliance, and you have these guys called I can't remember what the other side is called, but they're in war. So the Alliance create these machines, these rat-looking things, to pretty much kill the other side. But these robots actually start having a mind on their own, and they start evolving, and they start creating themselves.
Oh, shit.
And they determine that it's like, you know what? We don't need you anymore. So they start killing both sides.
Awesome.
So
basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. So the Screamers, they're called Screamers because they make this loud noise, and, you know, humans with in their ears, they lose balance or whatever, and that's how they get him for you to be stunned, and then they kill you, and they
slow you down,
right, and they kill you, right? So the plot of the movie is you have the Alliance gets a message saying like, hey, we no longer want to be in conflict with the, I think they're called like NAPS or something like that. I can't remember. You have to go and make a peace, kind of like a peace treaty, right?
Yeah.
But then later on, you find out that is just bullshit. Planet Earth, or the people that are in Planet Earth, don't even have an intention to like make a peace. They just want to leave that Alliance group in that planet basically to die.
Oh my god.
So you have, and then throughout the movie, you kind of find out that there's new versions of Screamers. Like they've evolved, they studied humans so much that they've created new types of Screamers. Like one is like a boy, the other one's like a dying soldier.
Oh my god.
But towards the end, you kind of get like this reference to like Blade Runner, because they start developing consciousness.
That's not good.
So it's really good. Check it out if you haven't. It's called Screamers. It has RoboCop.
Well, then I have to love it.
And you know, it's not as gory as RoboCop, but it has the classic 80s, like, you know, hands being chopped off and legs and shit.
Oh, I love the gore movies from the 80s, man.
But if you like Blade Runner, you can kind of get like that little, you know, like, oh, this looks like Blade Runner, like.
We got to go back to real quick. How good was Blade Runner 2049?
Fucking amazing.
Okay, that's all I needed. Yeah. I'm gonna do it once every time we record. Yeah. But so you have the flu.
I have the flu,
which works really well for one of my set list points. And I don't know if you can read it there. Yeah. You've been sick before. I'm assuming that you've had sex while you were sick before.
Yes.
And it's not always great.
No.
Sometimes it's like you get halfway through and you're like, this was a bad choice.
Yes.
What is the best sex position while having the flu?
See,
this is a harder one than you think.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not. It's a really easy answer for me.
Okay, well, what's yours?
Doggy style.
See, I was gonna say that, but it just doesn't work for me. Like, because in that position, like, I have to do the moving.
Well, but here's the thing, like, who is sick? Is my partner sick or am I sick?
You.
Oh. See, doggy style only works the other way around, though.
Well, when they're not breathing on you?
Well, if she's sick, like, well, this is the thing, like, when you cough, you put a lot of pressure on your body.
Yep, and squeezing.
Yeah, so they dude, it's amazing.
That's so selfish.
I know, but fucking sue me.
Be like, you have a cold? Baby, we gotta get in the bed.
Turn around, I'll be quick. And
That
cough.
is so messed up.
And cough.
It's better when they have bronchitis.
If it's the other way around, to be honest, like oh man, I gotta think about that one. What's yours?
I was gonna say it's probably the vanilla missionary.
Vanilla missionary.
Just because it's minimal movement on my part, but at the same time I don't have everybody on me. Like make me feel like claustrophobic, because like when I get sick, like everything bothers me, right? So mine would be missionary, me on top, just
ease
like
it in.
small movements, nothing that's gonna make me feel seasick.
I'm just gonna ease it in, like a gentleman.
Dude, I totally forgot about that movie. Oh, it's such a good movie too.
It's a quote from me, myself, and Irene. People,
of course. Oh, sorry. Sometimes I forget that there's an audience there, and I'm just talking to my buddy. Yeah.
Dude, like my friends were giving so much shit that sometimes like I'll look at them like not like they're dumb or anything. Although maybe I make them feel that way, but there's something like, for every little fucking joke that you make, you have a movie quote, and we don't necessarily watch the movie that you watch, Robert. Like, what the fuck?
I'm like, Jesus. All right.
But I digress. I would say girl on top.
Yeah.
That when she's like, riding and I cough, and I'll just like do like this hip thrust movement.
See, that's clever. That's thinking outside the box.
And then you can go deep.
No pun intended.
I can't. Although I can't guarantee, stamina.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Although sometimes I have more when I'm sick.
Because you just want to get it over with.
Let's do this. Let's get through.
You're
Gotta
like,
fight through the trenches.
You try to come in like 10 seconds and it's just not 30 minutes later, you're like, God damn it.
You're sweating all those toxins out. Yeah, but I told you it was a little bit more difficult than you thought. You have to actually think about it.
Well, like I said, I thought I was the other way around. Like, she has the flu. If she has the flu, I'm turning you around.
It's whatever position you're comfortable with. It's not facing me.
Just imagine she's like coughing and you're like spanking the shit out of her. Dude. Bliss.
And it has to go dark,
And then you can be like a Serbian film and grab a machete. Oh, no. No?
Yeah.
Fucking machete.
God damn, Zumi. Well, you tell me about the people you work with, like saying that stuff like with movies, they're not watching the same movies as you. How often do these movie lines come up in your normal conversations?
Dude, all the fucking time.
How many times do people actually get it?
When there's like cold classics, they usually get it. Like if you do Anchorman, like it's like a safe bet that at least one person has seen Anchorman.
Yeah. It's like the Ocean's 11 of quotable movies for people.
Yeah. But then like nobody can get well, sometimes Wedding Crashers. Some people can get Wedding Crashers.
I don't get too many people that get The Big Lebowski.
No,
I try.
There's a couple, but it's rare.
When I find one, like we have like that moment, like when you say a Big Lebowski quote, and then they'll follow up with the following quote.
Yeah,
and you're like, and then you have like that weird like gay moment. You're like, yes,
give me a hug.
You get me.
Give me a hug right now.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah, every single time I gotta be like. Let's say I say like, "Are you fucking this up, dude?" And they'll look at me like, and I'm like, "Big Lebowski,"
I can't.
Big Lebowski, and they're like, and they're just like, "You're so stupid." Like everything's a movie quote from me. I'm like, God damn it!
It's like shit. I gotta go back to like Gone with the Wind quotes with you people. This is ridiculous.
Although I do have one with one of my friends, and it's always like, maybe you'll get it. It's always like, "What do you want?"
The Notebook.
Yeah, and she's always like, and she gets it because she loves that movie, and I fucking destroyed it for her, and I'm like, this movie's so fucking stupid. And I'm like, what do you want? And she's like, it's not that simple.
Do you know that the guy in that movie that pisses me off the most has the same name as me?
Really?
Lon. Yeah, the fiance that she's getting married to.
You mean
and that
Cyclops?
Yeah.
How can you not like Cyclops?
I like his character. I don't agree with what his character does. I don't think that that's real.
Dude, I think he got screwed, though.
He did, but like that's why it pisses me off so much is because he totally gets it at the end and lets her go. Like, he's like totally cool with it. Like, yep, you know what? I get it now. We weren't meant to be together. You should just go with this guy, this random ass dude. You know, no big deal. We already planned the wedding, all that stuff. And, you know, I make money. He makes shit. You know, well, whatever. No big deal. Like, seriously?
You know,
I'd be punching a motherfucker out.
Dude, I fucking destroyed that movie. And everybody that was there was like, oh yeah, I love The Notebook. It's so romantic. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I wrote for you 365 days straight. I'm like, you can pick up the fucking phone. There were phones in that movie. They made it abundantly clear that there was phones. Are you fucking dumb?
And there was no caller ID.
Yeah, I'm like,
you just pick up the phone?
Are you fucking kidding me? You fucking married the bimbo? Like, no, like,
yeah,
that's so stupid, so fucking dumb.
And nobody dies together.
Yeah, like they'll die like the next day or 3 days later.
I mean, like even
later.
my grandma died 1 week and my grandpa died the next week.
Yeah, like a week.
But
apart.
It really didn't have anything to do with like heartbreak. My grandpa just died. Yeah. You know, it's like, well, nobody just lays on a bed, has that perfect moment where all of a sudden your Alzheimer's isn't acting up and we can recognize each other for that tiny little moment.
And we just die.
Boom, we die. It's like, okay, that's not real.
Especially when they never made it like, okay, for the lady, yes, you know, they put in she has dementia or whatever. But with the guy, he was just old. It's like, yeah, it's really.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with him. Like, they were asking, they even did like the tests on him and stuff while he was at the facility. They'd check his health.
Yeah, he's like, you're good.
It's fine.
You're fine.
You're fine. Book dead.
Explain, movie. Explain.
It's like we you know,
dude,
the explanation I want.
You know, there's some fucking sensitive dude out there going like, that was the greatest movie ever. What are you talking about? It was so romantic.
I know. And I'm not apologizing to you because you need to man up and watch Commando.
Yeah, I know. Or, you know, I don't know.
At least Conan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good starter man movie, right?
That's a good one.
That's a good movie to get your balls back.
But all I'm saying is, what the fuck do you want?
Well, that would actually be a good list to make, is like, you know, how to regain your movie manhood.
Your movie manhood? Watch these.
Like you have to start out with this one, because this isn't like, I would say start out with Apollo 13. Like a realistic movie. Like, you know, this shit happened, and these dudes had to sack up and
really,
they had
though?
to do their job.
Did it really happen though?
I don't know. But let's go with that, right? Or Chariots of Fire. You know, like some like inspirational movie where you do something.
What's that? Oh fuck! Fucking movie. It's been remade by like 1,000 times. Not Spartacus, but the other one, Ben-Hur.
I was gonna say Spartacus.
No, Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
Watch fucking Ben-Hur, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get your balls back.
Yep, and I think that you have to have some Arnold Schwarzenegger movies in there. Definitely Commando and Conan. And then you have to have some Sylvester Stallone and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
You can just cross off Jingle All the Way, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I think for romantic movie, I think you still have to have that in there to have like a myriad, like a selection of manhood. You know, like the different portions of manhood. So I would say for a romance movie, you have to go with, you know, of its name, True Romance.
True Romance.
Hey, that's a romantic movie.
It's kind of unrealistic though, and how far
it is. But I mean, so is the way that women expect us to do things. So, you know, why not?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, that was a maybe for me. Like you.
But no, yeah. I mean, I really do think that that are some movies, pretty much any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from like 1990 and back. You know, that you could probably, because I don't think he made any like sentimental movies before then.
I mean, who?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold? No, I don't think so. It was all action. I mean, because he was typecast, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so.
Maybe he was. Like,
I mean, if you want to see a really sentimental movie by Arnold, you should watch the zombie movie one. What's it called?
Zombie movie?
Yeah, there's a zombie movie he did. He did it for free, too.
What?
Yes.
The fuck?
Yeah, dude. It's really good. It's like Arnold at his, like, fucking best.
Arnold?
So.
Schwarzenegger.
I can't remember the fucking name, though.
Zombie.
It's an indie movie, and it's a recent movie, too.
Maggie,
yeah.
I know of this movie. I didn't know this was zombies.
Yeah, do you know the plot of it at all?
Does she become a zombie?
She does become a zombie.
Because I'm seeing pictures here with him like slitting her throat with a straight razor as a joke, but
no, but this is a like one of his best dramatic roles, and so the plot is that.
So you're saying you wouldn't agree with the Rotten Tomatoes score?
No. Ignore the fucking Rotten Tomatoes score. This movie is fucking solid. It's good. It's out there with like The Girl with All the Gifts, which I bet you haven't seen, right?
I have.
Oh, you did see it. All right.
Yeah, I did.
We never talked about it. Why?
We didn't.
Well, we can talk about it afterward. But Maggie is Arnold's daughter, right? And she, like other kids around that area or this world, have been infected by this virus that turns them into flesh-eating zombies, right?
Yeah.
But there's a period of them, so they transition. It's not like they get the virus and they all of a sudden are fucking zombies. It takes time. So the plot is of him as a dad trying to give his daughter like that, you know, like a regular teenage life still before she turns into a zombie. And the government has assign like these camps where if you're affected, you should go in. You get like the serum to try and cure it, but essentially what it is it's a fucking lethal injection.
Oh my god!
Right? So
they're euthanizing the zombie kids.
Correct. And you know, throughout the whole, there's this one scene where he goes with a friend that's a doctor that's been, you know, looking at her and you know, he has his shotgun and he's like, you know what? You can give her this, right? But the way I see it, it looks fucking painful as fuck. You're probably better off grabbing that shotgun and just putting a bullet through her head. Like if you don't want her to suffer type thing. And like I said, like it's deep. It's a really deep movie. Like there's no like, you know, Walking Dead scenes where there's like a shitload of zombies and they're running. Yeah, it's more about the relationship of him as a father and his daughter Maggie. And like I said, he did this movie for free. He didn't charge anything because he liked the script so much that he was just like
Keanu Reeves did.
Yep, he did it for free. So check it out.
Okay, I got both of these movies.
It's a really good one. It's a really good one. I can't believe it got shit on Rotten Tomatoes, to be honest.
Yep, 58%.
Yeah.
That's why I say like I just looked at the Wikipedia.
What's the rating?
Article
What's the rating for the audience though?
Let me see. Let me go ahead and put it here. Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so the critics gave. Oh my god, critics gave it 59%, and the audience gave it 32%.
Really?
Yeah,
dude, I love that movie. It was.
I think it's because of the expectation of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, maybe they were waiting for like an action film, but it's. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I thought he was fucking solid in that movie.
Well, the guy's been acting forever, and it looks like what is it, 2015? Yeah, I mean, you know, over that period of time, you've seen the evolution of Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting. He's not going to ever be the greatest actor to ever live.
No, but
he's just not.
He's such a likable guy, though. You know.
Yeah, it's like The Rock, right? I know I'm going back to The Rock, but The Rock is no way one of the best actors ever. Like his ability, like he is good at some things, like some emotion and stuff like that. He's pretty good at, like, and he can pull you into a film, but you love him, right? I mean, he's such a likable person. It's impossible not to like his movies.
Yeah.
And that's what Keanu Reeves is to me. It's like, because I know, like you see all these little stories about Keanu Reeves and like
yeah.
what he does, like out on the outside, and like how much money he actually like takes for himself from movies, and then the rest of it he just gives away. It's like, how do I not like this guy's movies?
Yeah,
I have to. It's like Tom Hanks. I have no idea what Tom Hanks does with his money, which is one of the reasons I don't know how I feel about Tom Hanks. Like, I think he's a good actor, but I just don't know how I feel about him.
Okay, so going back to The Girl with All the Gifts.
Yep.
Did you like that movie?
Yes, I did. It's an interesting play on the whole zombie thing. It's I don't know. It was kind of creepy.
It's pretty creepy.
Because it seems like the thing that I was most interested in is the way that it kind of changed the psyche of the kids.
Right.
Like they're no longer human, obviously. Like what you would consider a human to be, like having certain types of empathy and everything. Like it's totally different. Like they are an animal now, just with human traits.
Right, a living parasite. That's how they...
Yeah. And I don't know. It was somewhat of a deep movie, I think.
You think? Well, I like the whole thing where, this girl was not special. There was a chance she was, but she was not special. And you can't really blame Glenn Close's character for trying to save humanity, because there's like the off chance that she might be the one that holds the cure, like the serum, right? But there was no guarantees. And at the end, when like the girl finally gets it, like she's like, "Oh, well, fuck you. This world belongs to us now."
Yep.
It's
and
like,
that's the messed up part. Is like is it Dr. Caldwell?
yeah.
Is it Caldwell or Coldwell?
Something like that.
Caldwell. I guess I could just look it up here. But once again, I'll go back to the whole like artificial intelligence thing. That's why it creeps me out. It's like, you have a being that's higher than humanity, or at least more advanced in some way, whether it be physical or intellectually. They're going to reach a certain point where they realize it, right?
Right.
And the question then is, what do they do with that knowledge? Did they decide, we like you? Or did they decide that you are kind of like a parasite?
Well, see, but and I think that girl fucked up, right? Because by releasing the spores, you don't longer have a food source other than animals.
Yeah. And
you don't have any... Well, she didn't... Well, I mean, she's a kid. She's not going to think it, but, like, now how are you going to harvest food?
Yeah.
So that was the best part of it. It's like, by you selecting or making the choice of having, like, your species as the dominant... or if the apex predator, you kind of screwed yourself, because in the long run, you're not going to have any more food. You can't survive on canned food. You need flesh, living flesh. So it's like, oh yeah, she fucked them up. But then again, they don't really specify how much of a lifespan that those parasites actually have. So,
which brings me to another movie. I know we're going on a movie rant here, but I do have a question about one movie. And it's The Green Mile. I know.
Percy.
Fucking Percy, man. I still have like fucked up images of like the kid, what's his name? The rapist motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because the whole situation was so messed up. But the thing that I'm wondering is, like, how long do you think he actually lived for? Tom Hanks' character. Because he's old as shit, right? Like, he's not old as shit. He's probably, like, in his early 80s, maybe late 70s. Like, his body, at least.
Right.
But he's been around for like 100 and something years.
Right.
So my question is, like, how long is that motherfucker gonna live? Oh no, they showed the mouse, right? They showed
The mouse was still alive, yeah.
Mr. Jingles.
Yeah.
Like, at the end, did the mouse die? Because that was the big debate. Like, did it die? Did it, like, breathe its last breath in the last frame?
I have no clue.
Or was it just breathing?
I think it was just breathing, right?
Well, then that's fucked, because that means Tom Hanks is going to be going on for a while.
Yeah.
Because that's just a mouse. Yeah, but that was a good movie, though.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I still get a little teary-eyed when he, like, cures the warden's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Because she was messed up. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, all better, and then her husband just, like, breaks down, you know. Oh. Yeah. Much like Will Smith stuff. You know, it's like, can't watch it without getting a little teary-eyed. Except for After Earth, because fuck that movie.
Speaking of mice.
Mice.
You have something about
That's
a new
right.
cancer treatment.
Yeah, and it's not actually a treatment. They're calling it a vaccine. And this just came out a few days ago. They have successfully injected this vaccine into mice that had tumors, and the tumors went away. It is the weirdest thing. Here's the catch. They're zombies. No. The catch is what they're using is strands of DNA, and they're using a dead virus, I believe, as the transmitter, like the whatever pathogen that they need in order to like deliver it to the tumor. So the question I have is, like, anytime you start injecting or inserting DNA, like foreign DNA, into a living animal, like, is that dangerous? Like, can you change, like, the structure of something when you start doing that? Or is it just trashed? Like, it goes in, it cures it, and then it's gone?
I don't know. But the thing is, you mentioned the word virus.
Yeah.
So if they're injecting a virus usually mutate.
Well, the virus is dead. And that's it. A dead virus is actually a pretty common delivery system for any type of vaccine.
So the virus doesn't activate at all.
No,
It doesn't come
it
alive.
doesn't.
It doesn't, like, generate a new one.
No, that's not what bothers me. The DNA thing is what bothers me. The one that I have questions about. It's like, first of all, where are you getting the DNA? You know, like, from what animal are you getting the DNA? Or is it from a plant or something like that? And what does it do? Like, what are the side effects of this? Because there's always side effects. I'm sorry. Like, anytime you change what nature has done, there's going to be a side effect. So it just kind of creeps me out. I mean, it's cool that they have a vaccine. They're calling it a vaccine. So, I don't know.
Did they say what type of tumor it was?
They probably did. I didn't read too far into the two articles that I saw come up. I kind of skimmed through them. I should look more into it. I think Stanford is the one that's doing the studies.
I thought. See, when I read this, I thought you were talking about the Bankston method.
No,
which I've talked about it on the podcast before, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, we already talked about this, Lonnie. What the fuck?
No, this is pretty recent. I just thought it was kind of interesting that they had the audacity to call it a vaccine, because that's not saying it's a cure, you know. But at the same time,
I've seen I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Those aren't zombies. I'm getting tired of people calling that movie a zombie movie.
No, they're vampires, right?
They're closer to a vampire than they are a zombie.
Well, I think on the novel they're vampires.
I haven't. Oh, yes, I have.
Aren't they? Aren't they vampires? Because they talk and everything.
Yeah. And they don't have, like, the screamy voice or whatever as their speech.
No,
in the book.
they talk English.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler alert, he dies.
Everybody dies.
Neville dies at the end.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. He dies saying, "I am legend."
Yep. Well, I forget what book it was, but I think I had mentioned this a long time ago in one of our first episodes about the 3 laws of robotics. Did you know that actually came from a book?
No.
Like, okay, so the 3 laws of robotics are a basic, agreed upon set of rules that are actually implemented today in our new type of robotics that we have and new type of artificial intelligence that they plan to integrate into true artificial intelligence, which basically is, like you are not allowed to harm a human. You have to use, logical thought in order to save humans or protect humans. You can't follow an order that would bring a human into danger somehow. It's like there's the 3 laws of robotics, but that actually came from just a science fiction book that this dude just wrote. He wasn't even thinking about it, and it's kind of fucked up that we have that type of society. But if you think about it, like, how many things do we actually have as like a creed or like a personal motto that come from some type of literature or film? Like we have sayings.
I mean,
of
everything,
course.
right? But isn't everything already been written? Like, if you read the Bible, like everything, every common.
Well, yeah, that is one thing. Like,
right?
I would say, like, pretty much every romantic story, except for maybe like a handful. I mean, you could go back to the Book of Ruth and find it all right there as like one of the original romance novels.
Right.
But it's the basic like Romeo Juliet type thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Like it's. I mean, it's kind of funny that you mentioned it because I mean, going back to the greatest movie of all time, Blade Runner 2049. Like even replicants follow that thing where they can't harm.
But is that
humans,
true
right?
love? Is that true love that what they have in that movie?
I think it was.
Now, I believe it was, and Christelle argues with me a little bit on it because she doesn't know. Like, she's in an impasse with that. Like, can he feel true love? And I'm like, well, why not? But the whole question is, does he actually have a soul? But then you have to have the question, like, what's a soul?
Yeah.
Can it be manufactured, or does it have to evolve within a manufactured being?
Right.
That's.
And this is why I like Blade Runner, because it's it
asks those questions.
It asks those questions. It challenges you to actually think about it. And when you think, it's like, oh no, it's a machine. It's like, well,
yep.
You can always ask the yes but question,
Yep. And those philosophical questions, and the fact that you still don't know if Deckard is a replicant or not.
Correct.
Yeah, so that raises all kinds of questions.
But anyways, enough Blade Runner.
Is it enough though?
I know, dude. Like, these fucking guys only took up a Blade Runner.
Suck it. Well, I was dropping my kids off at school the other day just to change the subject, and I've noticed this was something I wanted to talk about a couple weeks ago, but it just became more apparent in the last couple of days. Is how fucking rude people are. Like, not just dropping off their kids, but it just becomes very apparent when they're dropping off their kids.
You guys have those issues too? I thought it was just in Mexico.
God. No, this is an American thing too.
Especially
with white people.
Cutting you off and shit.
Oh my God.
Dude. And then they just start honking at you. It's like, motherfucker.
I've tried everything. Like, they have 2 sides of the school that you can drop your kids off, where my kids go to school. And each side has like this little U-shaped driveway. Like, you go in one way and then you come out the other way. But then there's like a little shoulder where you can park at to let your kids out. And then you get back into the drive lane so that you can get out and leave the school. It's very simple. Like, if there's people waiting, you go to the farthest spot, right? Like, try to get up there so that you're cinched up and everybody can try and get enough room to park and let their kids out. Yeah, apparently this rule means nothing to people. Like, absolutely nothing. It's utter chaos. people stop in the drive lane and let their kids out, like, and totally willy-nilly, right? Like, they don't like make sure that their kids aren't going to get hit by a car. They don't look around. Like, the kid, as soon as the kid like leaves the door, as soon as that kid starts like just a little bit like closing the door to the car, that parent's gone. Like, who the hell? Like, I'm always like telling my kids, I love you, you know, have a good day at school, and I wait for them to shut the door, and I like to sit in that little park lane and wait for them to get up to the school doors, just to know that they're in there. It just gives me a little peace of mind knowing my kid is in the school.
You guys don't have like a designated parent like guiding traffic? We do that here. I mean,
well, I wish they would.
At least that is that's, you know, that's something that I give the school like kudos, but getting in line, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, they have a little traffic or like crosswalk guards, but they're kids.
No.
You know,
see, here we actually have like an adult guiding traffic, like moving people to the front. Well, then they open the door, they get the kid out for you, and they walk him to the door, and then they get the next car.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? We had that at the last school that my kids were at. Like, there was 2 adults, and all these ladies did was they got the kids out of the car, and they'd shut your door, and the kids would walk up there, and they would make sure that the kid got into the school.
Yep.
And if they didn't, they knew who the kids were. They'd call you and be like, hey, you know, little Mikey decided he was going to go run down the street, so we had to grab him. You know, but here, no, like I told you before, this lady tells me it's a walk-in community. This is the mindset of these people. You know, like, it's like nothing ever happens here, so why the hell do we need an adult out there? It's like, well, you know, I'm from LA. I would love for like to have a little assurance. You know, like, I still lock my doors at night, bitch. You know, but parents, oh my God, parents are so fucking rude. And I get it. Like, your kid is the most important kid in the world to you. I understand that. I really do. But at the same time, you don't have to be a douche.
Yep.
Don't stop in the drive lane to let your kid out. First of all, because it's dangerous. And secondly, there's other fucking people, asshole. I'm just saying.
Well, moms are the worst, though.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
And they're always in the big-ass SUVs.
Yep. That's so funny.
I saw this one lady, you know, like, of course, like this blonde-haired girl that's probably like, God, she's probably like 8 years younger than me. And she weighs about 90 pounds, and she's driving this enormous Escalade. And she's got the phone to her ear. I know that fucking vehicle has Bluetooth, asshole. You know, but she's got the phone to her ear. She's got her 2 fingers, like her index finger and her middle finger, on the steering wheel. No thumb, no ring finger, no pinky. That's all she has, and she's using that to turn, and she's got to do like extra effort, you know, just because those are the only 2 fingers I'm using. Like, what are you doing? You look like a dumbass, first of all, and that's dangerous. And she doesn't even get off the phone to like tell her kids goodbye. Like, the kids get out, she's still talking on the phone, they shut the door, she's gone. I want to rip her out of the driver's seat and like physically turn her head to look at her kids and say goodbye to your children, asshole. You know, but whatever, you know. Like, I'm sure your kids are, you know, awesome to have at home. I'm sure they're so well behaved that you don't even notice they're there, because that's what you want, is to make sure that you don't hear or see or feel your kids. Sorry. Is that a little aggressive?
You done?
Yeah. I don't know. I got 4 kids. It's fucking hard. I understand it, but it's not so hard that you know, you don't need to get off the phone and say goodbye to your kids and actually try to drive your monstrous vehicle.
Did I tell you that I'm changing the subject here, by the way.
It's probably a good idea.
But did I tell you that somebody? I think I've told you that I sort of manage an account that we have, It's a military account.
Okay.
So I issue all of the military memberships through 24 Hour Fitness.
Okay.
So if we have this program, right? Like if you're in a military installation and you don't have a fitness facility, you can go through the YMCA and get a year membership with 24 Hour Fitness, so you can go to so that soldiers can go to the gym and work out and whatever, stay fit.
Mm-hmm. Extra free stuff. All right.
Right. So, I mean, it has its flaws. It's not a perfect system, but it's a system where I can keep accountability of who actually gets the membership and making sure that we actually got payment, because we're not just giving them away.
Yeah.
And making sure that the person that is got assigned to that membership is the person that is actually going to the gym.
Oh, I have a feeling this is where the story's going.
So it got fixed, right? Like now we have a better control of, because before it was like the fucking Wild Wild West. Like,
where somebody's like second cousin was showing up.
Yeah, like somebody, well, not necessarily like a second cousin, but somebody else that's in the military. At least they got that thing right. But we had no record that this person was supposed to get a membership, right?
Oh.
So now all that's fixed, but now there's a larger delay from the time they get approved through their office or whatever, and then from the time I get payment and then confirmation that person gets a membership.
Yeah.
So there's like a 30-day. I mean, you've worked for the government. They're fucking behind all the time.
Yeah,
so
30 days is the minimum.
Yeah, so that's what we tell them, like, hey, you got to prove. Wait at least 30 days before you start fucking harassing me for your membership.
This is not my fault.
So I actually got somebody call me and try and pull rank on me. I'm like, dude.
Oh my god.
I'm like, dude, really? You're Sergeant so-and-so? Like, I don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm Mr. I don't give a shit.
Like, and I mean, I was polite, but essentially what I said is like, you can be a 4-star general and I'm still not going to issue you a membership unless I get payment and I get a confirmation that you are to receive a membership. And if you're a 4-star general, you should be paying for your own fucking membership.
I just like to point that out.
But anyways, yeah, I got somebody like kind of like doing like threats and stuff, and I'm like, and you know what? Like it was pointless too, because like the following day, I get payment, I get confirmation, and his name is on the list, and I'm like, see.
I really got to do my leg day.
But I thought it was kind of funny that somebody tried to pull rank on me. I'm like, well, I'm a civilian. I used to be in the military. I don't have to listen to you anymore.
It's like that scene from The Two Towers.
Something like
when,
that.
Gandalf is trying to take Saruman out of him. You have no power here.
And, and they're like, well, and you give me the information for the people in the YMCA, then maybe I can call him. And I'm like, yeah, you can try and call him, but they're all managed by straight up civilians as well. So just like, I mean, I was playing real with this guy because he was, and I get it. He's upset. He's been waiting for a long time, but you got to keep in mind, 1, 30-day delay. 2 is during the holidays. So they're going to be shut down for like at least 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And
that was like the VA when I was trying to get payment for school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, it's like, like I'm here to help you. Like I'm not the bad guy here. Like,
yeah.
So I gotta explain to people sometimes. It's like, yeah, my job is to issue memberships, provided I get payment. Yeah. I haven't gotten payment. That's out of my control, man. Like I can't. You can yell at me all you want. I'm gonna tell you the same thing. It's not gonna fix it.
Can you tell people like that, like, if anything, you're giving me a good story to tell my wife when I go home tonight?
No. Like I said, I wasn't rude, but essentially that's the message that I told him. Like, you can try and pull the rank you want. Like,
did you tell him you're going to be on a podcast?
No.
You just don't know it yet?
But if he is listening to me, and all of a sudden he'd be like, "That's a motherfucker," that's like just piss me off, and you're not gonna get a membership next year.
We just want you to know, Sergeant so and so, that it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, or it's gonna be delayed.
I control your gym membership, asshole.
I don't do that. Like usually, like I feel for the people, and you know, some of them like genuinely like want to work out. You know, they're like, dude, I've been working out in my garage for like 2 months. Like, help me out, and I'm like, I can't.
Be like, I know how you feel. I had to lift the television remote today, and whew, I mean,
no, but you know, like,
I get it.
But most of the people that I deal with, like they're really nice, you know, like because they know that you know, I'm doing a job, and this is not my only job, you know.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, this past week with me leaving early because of my wife's surgery and having to do closeout, which has we put everything on hold. We just do everything that's 24-hour fitness related, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so it's like I told him, like, dude, I'm swamped with work right now. I can't, like, I'll get him next week. And they're usually like, you know, you've already been waiting for a month, you know, what's another 7 days?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, somebody tried to pull rank.
That's awesome.
I was just like, yeah, it's not happening.
Solomon, you missed out because we could talk about all those military wives that think they have the same rank as their husband.
Oh my God, dude.
That didn't happen very often, though, when I was in the military. Like, it did happen, but it wasn't, like, to the degree, like, you would see, like, you know, in a movie or something.
Yeah.
But I was surprised when it first happened, you know, like,
well,
you know.
Remember, what's that, the Divers movie with Robert De Niro?
Oh, yeah, Men of Honor.
Yeah, you know, the wife, I was like, he's a major or whatever.
It's like,
like
good
that.
for him.
It's like, I don't have to listen to you, woman.
Yep. It's just the way it goes. It's a hard fact, but a fact nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard, though. Like, I mean, I get it. If my wife was, like, I don't know, like, you know, a powerful woman, then I think I would feel
You'd
like...
want powerful things, too.
I think I would be self-entitled to the same respect.
So if you were married to Oprah, you would expect, like, I'm going to call a pizza place. I want it here in 2 minutes.
Don't even get me started on Oprah, dude.
I know.
That's a bad example.
I kind of went on, like, a little... On my personal account, not on the podcast account, I did go on, like, a little Twitter battle with some people when there was, like, the not so much an announcement that Oprah was going to run for president in 2020.
Yeah.
And I said something like, see, here we go. Here's the Democrats trying to replicate what the Republican Party did with Trump. Try to find a television personality that's rich as hell, you know, to try to replicate the results, you know, and it's like, it's not going to work, you know. It's whenever the Democrats try to replicate what the Republicans do, it's always weak and half-assed, and, you know, and then, of course, you know, I got all the trolls, you know, and, of course, all the bots.
You don't understand.
She's a powerful woman. It'd be nice to have the first black woman president. It's like, yeah, well, we thought that about the last guy, you know, but it was a man, and that didn't work out so well, so.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Did you read those memos? Or the memo?
I sort of, I didn't want to get into it. Like, I just read like I saw a little bit of like the Ben Shapiro going on a fucking rant about, and I was just like, you know what? Sorry, Ben, I'm not even gonna listen to it. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, it's all the shit that we already knew. It's just now it's in writing, and we have proof, right? It's like, you know, that the Democrats, like Hillary and Obama, decided they were gonna make up some false dossier, right? Like, of all the shit that Trump did so that they could get a FISA warrant to spy on him.
Yeah.
That's basically all it was. So now we have proof that they actually spied on him illegally. And, of course, like, CNN, MSNBC is calling it a nothing burger, saying there's nothing there. It's like, well, it kind of is something. It's just not groundbreaking. We all knew it. It's just proof now. But the kicker is now they're saying that's just the first of many. and then they released 22 of Hillary's emails today. Like, they put them out there. It's like, oh shit, here we go. This is what they're gonna do. They're like the Republicans are kind of playing this smart, and they're drip feeding people like all of this really bad shit that they've done. Like, it's like, oh man, it's like, this is gonna continue for the next year, isn't it? Yep. Okay. So it's bad. I will say that I never imagined that our government, the U.S. government, would have people, like, I knew that there was corrupt people in politics in America. I mean, that's a given. But I never knew that it could be so bad so that there's like a handful of people that could control everything. And they can do it however they feel like, to whoever they want, and have no repercussions. That's fucking scary to me. So, like, if you were to say some really bad shit online about one of these politicians, there's a possibility they could destroy you.
Yeah.
Just because they had a bad day. That's scary, man.
It is pretty fucking scary, dude. But, you know, who gives a shit about us?
And I will tell people out there, if you don't have a problem with Hillary and Obama and all these other people that did this, if you don't have a problem with that, then I'll ask you, is it okay for Trump to just make an accusation, a false accusation about the top Democrat candidate in 2020, make a false accusation and spy on that candidate? Is that cool with you guys? Because if it's not, maybe you should think about why you're actually upset about this. I'm just saying. Anyway, where are we at?
We got the last item still. Let's finish this set list.
Let's finish it. Okay, so I did have a question for you, and I've wanted to ask you this for a couple of weeks now. What is something, or an item, or a piece of technology that you think would be a really bad idea to give someone if you traveled back in time to the Dark Ages? Like the Middle Ages.
Penicillin.
Oh. That's a good answer, Jimmy. Oh, dude, there's so many bad things that could come from that. And here's one that you might not have thought of with penicillin, is that antibodies and parasites and diseases would actually evolve to be much worse over time because it started back then instead of like recently. Humanity might be wiped out by now.
Yeah.
From these super bugs that started in the 1800s.
Can you imagine, though?
Oh, my God. With all the bad shit that was going on back then, too.
I mean, the life expectancy was what, like 25?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So many fucking people that are healthy. Doing bad shit. Wow. That's a good one. I would say probably nuclear energy.
Nuclear energy. Why?
Well, like the power to be able to have nuclear energy, but also the knowledge of how to make an atom bomb.
Yeah, but you have no way to deliver it, though. I mean, fucking Trojan horse.
Even then, yeah.
I mean, fucking atom bomb is like the blast radius on it, and then nuclear fallout. I mean, that's not a smart thing to bring back, especially with all those dumb people.
No. What's something small?
Something small? Penicillin.
Like, yes, besides penicillin, besides the cure-all for all the shit they had back then. Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
She would have been hung or burned as a witch.
No, you know what? I mean,
because like,
but are we talking about technology specifically?
No, not necessarily. You know, it could be just a thing. Like something they did not have back then. I guess it's pretty narrowed down to mostly technology.
I guess it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's just stuff we have now.
You can't really, it can't be really be like, okay, if we're going to go like dive into this, like be realistic, any electronics is out of the fucking question because if it needs batteries or whatever, Or if it can run on batteries, they're going to run dry. They're just going to be used for like maybe a couple months or whatever.
What about solar cells?
Yeah, but even solar cells have a limited
limit?
Yeah, they have a limited capability. So, I mean, something mechanical, like
Yeah.
like guns
maybe.
would be one, right? Like automatic weapons.
Yeah, because you can use blacksmith, goldsmith type of workers to recreate that because they already had powder. They already had the ability to make what we would call black powder.
So,
And all the rest of the stuff, they just...
I mean, you didn't even need armor-piercing bullets. You can, right? Because those metal plates weren't... I mean, they were thick, but they were not, like...
You couldn't stop a 9mm. I mean, it's too high velocity. It's fucked.
Yeah.
I would say something that's not technology would be knowledge. Like giving them, say, like the next 200 years worth of knowledge. Because I think that would fuck history up completely.
Okay, Mark Anthony, when you meet Cleo, chop her fucking head off.
Yeah.
Or, hey, Caesar, by the way, don't go to this meeting.
Don't go to the little Senate meeting. You know, that's probably a bad idea.
I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. It's just, you know, if you give him penicillin, like, during that time, like, a cure-all. Can you imagine old Romans just cured?
Oh, my God. Dude, I think just the fact that I've seen the series Spartacus.
although I think what destroyed the Roman Empire was politics, right?
Yeah, and it was also allowing their different annexed countries to do pretty much whatever they wanted. And then kind of like thinking they were rulers of the world, so they kind of they'd never stopped like doing the conquest and like trying to get more of the world. But what they did do is they kind of like reveled in their own magnificence. And they stopped really protecting themselves.
Yeah.
Because they didn't think there was anybody else to fight, really. But there was a lot of stuff that went into that, and politics was one of the big ones. They kind of ate themselves.
Yeah, it was like, they kind of turned into millennials.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, just fucking lazy people, and eventually
they had amazing technology.
They did.
You know, like for what all the stuff that they had. I mean, they had working plumbing systems in Rome. It's incredible, like all the stuff that if you look through history, the amount of things that they had available to them because of knowledge and philosophy and all of these different things. I mean, they were at the pinnacle of technology. I mean, I think the furthest, probably the civilization that was probably more advanced than them before them was probably the Egyptians.
Mm-hmm.
But giving the Romans penicillin, no, that's a bad idea. That's a bad fucking idea.
I mean, and like I said, I mean, even if you give them guns, like, I mean, they gotta reload.
With penicillin, they can just sit back and enjoy their own.
Yeah, they can just fucking throw biological weapons, i.e. corpses, into, you know.
Yeah.
And don't
not a
get
big
sick.
deal anymore.
Yeah. If they do that to the Romans, it's like, okay, you just shove fucking penicillin and burn those bodies. You're good.
Damn, dude. I think you have the golden answer.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything else.
Giving them a fix for something, pretty much.
Oh, I know. Heroin.
That, I think they still had opioid, like, they had opium.
But they didn't have heroin. Or meth. Methamphetamines.
I don't know.
Give this
That'd
to
be
your
a good
enemy.
little study.
Give this to your enemies.
What do you think the world would be like now if we never discovered penicillin? Because wasn't that an accident? Just kind of like champagne.
Well, but then I guess we would probably have more ocean water treatment, right?
Yeah, you'd have a lot more homeopathic type stuff.
Yeah, which they had in the past. I think Socrates got cured of tuberculosis.
Yeah, because I was reading through the dolphin diet thing, and they had like all the sources, the source material, and that was one of them. Was going back into history and seeing how they actually use seawater.
So, I mean,
they say sailors were some of the most healthy people in the world back then, even though they had syphilis and you know that's a side story. We're not going to talk about that, but yeah, sailors used to live into like their 70s and shit. I mean, those were hardy people. I mean, which reminds me, I got to go watch Master and Commander again.
I still haven't seen that movie.
God, you got to watch it too.
I've seen the ending, right? Like, I mean,
that's not the movie.
He comes out, fucking music's playing, gets you pumped. It fucking gets you pumped, but.
Well, I think I've told you before. Like, we've already talked about like movies that get you inspired, you know. And the weird one for me is Limitless. You know, like, it's because there's nothing inspiring about it. He takes a drug and he gets better. Yeah. Like he, you know, more cognitive function and all that. But it's like you see him cleaning up his apartment and writing his book in like 3 days or whatever. And it's like, dude, I want to go do that shit.
Give me that drug.
Yep.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to have this fantasy. Maybe it happened to you as well. But and this is how powerful movies have been in my life. You know, I used to fantasize that I can somehow not travel through time, but travel through dimension and go to that particular dimension of the movie. Yeah. And grab the item or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So even Limitless, like, you know, how amazing would it be to, like, get sucked into that movie, just steal the pills after they've been modified by him, you know, because he modified them so they wouldn't have those effects of, you know, and then just take it back to your own world and use them.
I think that was both a male and female fantasy. Excuse me, fantasy, but I think females just had a different view of it.
They can go in and fall in love with Pierre or whatever, like the perfect man.
Yeah, whatever. Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic or whatever it is. They can die with him, you know. And
so you have this fantasy as well.
Yeah. Okay. I also had the same thing with like I had Kinects and Legos when I was a kid, and how cool would it be to like to make the, like a car or something, and like become small, or you know, like have that thing get bigger and I could drive around this car that I built or whatever. It's similar, but it's not, you know, it's not exactly the same thing. But I did have them, you know, stuff with movies and television shows. Yeah, of course.
All right.
You know, like Thundercats. I wanted that fucking sword.
Dude, I wanted that sword so bad.
Like so bad.
I wanted to make out with Cheetah so bad.
I know, she was hot when I was a kid. Now it's like, now I look at it and I'm like, oh god, fucking bestiality, man.
So it's like, can you shave?
Did I ever tell you that my dad caught me? My dad caught me making out with the television with Kelly from Married with Children.
Christina.
Yep. I don't even think she's that good looking anymore. Like
but she used to be hot, dude.
Well, yeah, back when I was a kid, you know, I didn't know any better.
I have the Hustler magazine that she did.
She did Hustler?
Oh yeah.
Who didn't do Hustler back in the 80s and 90s?
She had like the full bush going on.
Oh my god.
Sexy as fuck, dude. I'm telling you.
I gotta ask Christelle about like all of her crushes from when she was like little.
But you know. I thought you were gonna say like your dad caught you masturbating.
No, never happened.
My dad caught me baiting.
Yeah. Were you hitting it pretty hard?
I was going at it, and
were you holding your breath?
No, I think I was breathing.
Oh, you were past the holding your breath stage?
Yeah, but he was cool about it. He would just like go to bed soon, and I'm like, am I still holding my dick? You know, I'm like, okay.
She had the wide eyes, like shit.
Yeah, like I couldn't go left-handed on the mouse and be like, you know.
Yeah. Did you have blankets around?
No, that's the thing.
So there was no hiding spot.
No, that thing was just.
See, that's a rookie mistake.
Just out.
You got to prep.
I mean, I had the tissue on the side.
Did you have the candle lit?
No candle lit.
Summer breeze.
It was fucked up, dude.
Mom's going, where are my fucking candles?
You know, but it wasn't as bad as my brother. My mom actually got my brother like going at it with his girlfriend at the time.
Oh, well, I still think that getting caught with a, how old was he? How old was he?
18, 19.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't think that's as bad as getting caught masturbating.
You don't think so?
Masturbating is just really embarrassing.
I mean, it is.
Because, it's like if your dad catches you having sex with a girl, it's like, at least you're having sex with a girl, right? Like he doesn't have to have the gay speech with you. And then he'll have to give you the talk like, dude, if you're going to do that, you need to do it somewhere else. You need to make sure you're wearing protection. If you get caught masturbating, it's like, oh, dude, really? I mean, like you couldn't lock the fucking door.
So I can, I was just going to put a parenthesis. I can totally relate to the Stephen Lynch song. You've heard that song?
One?
The one where he caught him masturbating?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know.
I can totally relate to that song.
Yeah.
Anyways. Last shout out. Last shout out to Cryptic Wisdom.
Cryptic Wisdom?
Love your music.
Yep.
I put a link of YouTube to, I think it was a Dr. Dre song or mix.
Yeah, is that his own channel?
I believe so, yes.
I think it's his own channel.
And like I said, if you want to start with Last Stand, fucking amazing song, but definitely check out the Dr. Dre mix. Short, simple, but really, really good. And
he's got
Lonnie,
chops.
To this day, I want you to know that I haven't been caught masturbating by my dad.
Well, I'm proud of you. You rectified the situation.
Now I actually have sex with a girl.
Congratulations, dude. I'm very proud of you.
Did I tell you? You were in Medina, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you went through Medina, and this is an annex to Lackland Air Force Base, did you
the saddest place on earth.
Did you encounter the Batman?
What? No. What? No.
No? They weren't doing that hazing stuff when you went through Medina?
I got there before you.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice any of that, but I was not in my room very often.
You were not hazed at night, like the first night you got in there?
No, I actually had a dispute with somebody like the second day I was there, and it just happened to be one of the, was it dorm guard or whatever, or the dorm leader. And it came pretty close to a fist fight. So it was, I don't know, I didn't have any problems with anybody there. Okay,
so how about this? When people were leaving, were they like giving you certain items? Were they giving certain items away?
No.
Oh, dude. So you missed this. So when I went through there, and this will be the last thing that I'll talk about because we're going off there, but so they treated it like a fraternity.
Yeah.
The dorms. And so what they had is they had this kid, this really tall, kind of chunky kid, and he called himself the Batman. So he was dressed in like these luchador type like tights.
Oh, God.
And he was wearing a cape. He was like all wearing in purple, and he would come in with a fucking like just making a shitload of noise and like get on top of you and like hump you and shit. Like you would get hazed, right?
It's a good family fun.
But that's how they would make you feel at home, right? And like after I got there, they kind of stopped that shit. But they had another one. They had another tradition, and it was like certain people when they left an item. So like a kid had like a 30-pound weight, and he would give it to like the skinniest kid that he can find, and it would be like, yeah, you need to put on some muscle. So after they give you this item in front of everybody, you had to do 10 curls. Right. So they had like a comb to the people that was like, he was like flake a lot or whatever, that looked like a flake, or like you need this comb or whatever. I got given a porn magazine.
Of course.
It's a Hudler, and you sign it, right? Like you sign when you leave, you sign it with a Sharpie that, you got. So the thing is, the rule is like, you have to give it to the kid that you think cannot get laid. So I got that one. But here's the thing. After you handed that magazine over, you had to do the quote from Road Trip. So you had to You had to
I
hand
had
it over.
Sex.
You had to hand it over, and you go like, "Bam! I guess I'm out because yesterday I had sex with a girl." so, so they gave me this magazine, and everybody's like, "Dude, can I borrow your magazine?" I'm like, "Fuck no, dude! I want to fucking like, no, this is mine." Like, so when I left, I gave the magazine away. I think this guy name was Kenny, and his last name is Kenny, and they paired him up with a guy that's last name was McCormick. so I gave it to Kenny, and then I had to do my speech. I had to say, "I guess I'm out because yesterday I had sex with a girl."
Did you do the pump? Like
yeah, I had to do the pump like that, and that was amazing because everybody knew me. Like they got the thing where when they would get to my name, like they said "sue me," and everybody would just yell "sue me," and I'm just like, "What the fuck," But so everybody knew my name. Like I didn't know them, and eventually when I got to move around bases and stuff, it was like, "Hey, sue me, what's up?" And I'm like, "Hey, you, it's you." What's up?
So that's why you didn't think that I actually knew you when I first saw you at Fairchild.
Exactly. And I didn't remember you at the time. I'm like, yeah, it's like we play guitar together. I'm like, dude, like that's you.
Like you got fat. Yeah, good times.
And on that note, I'll shut up.
It's okay. People love the military stories apparently. And we got so many of them. Like, there's probably a ton I've forgotten about, too, that'll just come up, like, in my mind randomly. There's just so much shit that happened.
Like the time we went to Canada and came back.
Yeah. You
Epic
guys
fail.
got harassed.
Epic fail.
Yes, that's the one time I got to cash in on my white privilege.
Yeah. Huh?
The one time. And I was just as white as you guys. Well, maybe not you, but at least Alvin.
He was only
I'm just
half.
as white. I'm just as white as Alvin.
It's only half, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for us for this. Yeah, for this episode. And
good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, we don't need luck, but I'll take it anyway because I'm nervous and superstitious. Yeah. Go Pats, fuck the Eagles, and fuck everything about the sports in their city. So, yeah. We will see you people in 2 weeks, and by that time, Tom Brady will have 6 rings.
Later, guys.
Thanks for listening to the NBTLT podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, or shoutengine.com. Write to us on our website at nbtltpodcast.com. or send us an email at mail@nbtltpodcast.com. Our bumper music is provided by bensound.com, and you can find us on all social media. And hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel.